Que lo que, manín? Sabe, manín? Stuff that I've been wondering about. Stuff that went quiet. Where are we with Lopez versus Hitchens? Because they running out of time. I did a video about that last week. That it's crazy that Matias, that fight is made for Matias. The IBF eliminator is made for him, right? And that means they working on the clock now, because as soon as somebody win that fight, an order is going to come down and they're going to have to deal with it. Basically, the grace period that y'all have to make that unification between Teofimo Lopez and Richardson Hitchens is in between now and the time that Matias versus Valenzuela ends. After that, you on the hook. Then you might have to pay a step aside fee. You might have to do this. You might have to do that. But if you make the fight between now and the time they fight, you don't got to do none of that. And let's be real. Whoever wins that fight, Teofimo, Richardson Hitchens, they're not going to fight Matias. Neither of them. That's why they got to hurry up. And that's why Eddie Hearn should have kept Matias. Because you could look at that landscape and see that, in all likelihood, he's going to get that red belt back. In all likelihood. And he's a Puerto Rican fighter. You could have him fight at the Hulu Theater. You could do fights for him in Puerto Rico. The fight that he's about to have is being co-promoted by Dimitri Salita, which is why it's on DAZN, because the Salita got a DAZN deal. Now, granted, he ain't getting an Eddie Hearn budget or a Frank Warren budget, but, he does have a DAZN deal, which is why we get to watch that fight when it goes down. And he's probably going to beat Valenzuela. Marty, what it do? Anthony, what it do? Toby, what it do? Mr. G, you already know. Yeah, you already know. Richie Alvarez, you already know, son. Yeah, Lee Wood is back, bro, but it took him long enough. You know that Josh Warrington fight was a year ago? That was a year ago, bro. He is bugging. Like, to come back and fight Anthony Kakache, yeah, you finna lose. And I love Lee Wood, man. I'm a Lee Wood fan, but I ain't no wide-eyed optimist neither. He is gonna lose that fight. I mean, my gorgeous wife in the background talking. You know what I'm saying? Maybe Valenzuela is a sneaky counterpuncher. What you trying to say, Ray? You trying to say you got Valenzuela? No. We got Fight Sport Talk. Who that?
What up, Bring IQ? I've had a few of my subscribers say I should jump on your channel. Always love boxing discussions, and yeah, with the card coming up in a few weeks, there's a lot to talk about.
Is that an Australian accent I detect?
New Zealand.
You're
not
tell.
The first one.
I could hear it. I could hear the Kiwi. I could hear it. I knew it.
Yeah. You're not the first one to mistake me as an Aussie.
Well, I'll tell you what, man. New Zealand has. What happened to my?
It just froze for a second.
Okay, I was like, is that my shit?
My goddamn dialogue, bro.
Damn, they got him.
Fucking Al got him. Now Jerry Soriano got him.
No, fucking Lee Wood got him, bro.
He was talking too much shit about Tio. He got him.
Snuck up on his ass.
T.O. Senior got his ass.
The wire little motherfucker.
Those Benavides.
Yeah, we having some technical.
What up, bro? You're back.
Having some. Oh, wait a minute.
Turn that shit off.
We having some technical difficulties tonight.
Hey, fix that shitty mic.
Having some technical, but look,
Pulling
man,
up with the sperm whites.
Sperm white. Lee Wood came back, but he came back to get his ass beat. He's bugging.
He came back from the depths of hell. But Jules, I gotta correct you. He didn't fight at all in 2024.
No, that's what I'm saying. It's been a year since the Josh, because Lee Wood's last fight was Josh Warrington, and Kakache's last fight was Josh Warrington. Yeah, That's his last fight. I think it's because I heard last year. I heard the reason that he didn't fight is because he wanted a lot of money. You know what I mean? He wanted a lot of money. Kind of like why we don't see more of Callum Smith. Same deal. Like he wanted a lot of money. You know,
Or
so
Devin
now,
Haney.
Right.
same shit. He wanted a lot of money. It's like, well, they can't all be big money
Want
fights,
that
my dude.
though. Yeah.
No, Lee Wood.
If you want
In
that fight, you
fairness,
gotta go to Saudi. It ain't gonna be for a soft touch.
yeah, but the thing is, we can't say that about Lee Wood, bro. We can't say that. That
Nah,
dude
he's not
make-
even that type of attraction though. That's the thing.
in Nottingham, nah. Where he's from in Nottingham, they could have did that. It's just who would he have fought is my thing. Who was he gonna fight in Nottingham? It's kind of like it had to happen this way for you to get Kakache, who's doing good. He beat Josh Warrington. He beat Joe Cordina before that. It's like, yeah, it worked, but now you've been out for a year, and while I fuck with Lee Wood, I don't have no illusions about what's about to happen. You about to get your ass beat.
Yeah.
I like that fight.
And
Bro. That's a
Kakachi's
good
reason
ass
is
That's a
kind
good
of,
ass fight.
effed up
It
in
would
the
be
surface.
better if he wasn't coming off a year layoff.
Yo,
It would
bro.
be better.
Yeah.
fight. Lee Wood is a warrior, man. I'll never doubt this guy ever again. Man.
He
That
is.
dude, he's the comeback king for real.
I ain't listen. If he win that fight, listen. If he would, I will go to the Bronx and I will slap Virtuoso.
I wish you would. What the fuck?
Nah, but it's honestly, I'm a huge fan of that guy, but I just can't pick him.
Jules, I would
pick
love
him.
to see you go live to the Bronx, get a gyro, and then slap Virtuoso.
Bro, you literally
With
read
the
my
gyro.
mind
With the
because
gyro.
you literally read. Because the first thing I was thinking, I'm gonna stop at the halal cart before I hit up Virtuoso. Like,
Well, guess
stop
what,
at the
Jules? I'm gonna go to the local bodega and I'm gonna hit you with a boomerang plátano.
Boomerang tacos, man.
But
run
no,
away,
we
Jules.
got. What y'all think about Joe Joyce versus Dillian White? Who do you like?
I like that shit. I've always fucked with Dylan White, man.
I fuck with
He gets-
Dillian White, man.
He gets unnecessary hate if you ask me. I don't know.
No, a lot of the hate that he got was from people who were mad that he wanted to fight Wilder. That's what that was.
Oh
You
yeah,
think-
yeah.
That's really what that was like.
You know he would have beat Wilder back then, bro.
You
Also,
never-
because he kind
I
of sucked.
disagree.
No,
I
come
disagree
on, Ray.
too.
Come
I
on,
disagree
Ray.
too, bro. I'm sorry.
He would have beat him.
Yeah,
2018,
today-
No.
2019, 2019. he
Let,
No
let me go to
way.
Ray. Wait, let me go to Ray. Ray, Joe Joyce, Dillian White. Who has more left? Who do you think wins that fight?
I'll go White because I don't think I've ever seen Joyce throw an uppercut.
Fair enough. Fair enough. That's good
Yo,
analysis. For those that don't know, every single time that Dillian White has been knocked out, it has literally been off an uppercut. Literally off an uppercut.
That's exactly
over
what I was
the
gonna
bullet.
say.
But
Let me go to Gooch. Gooch, Joe Joyce, Dillian White. How does it go?
I completely agree with the last guy. That's exactly what I was gonna say. If Joe Joyce throws an uppercut, it's over.
So you gonna go with Joe?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, one for Dillian. That's one for Dillian, one for Joe. Ignacio, how does it go?
Damn, this is tough because this is between two guys that are on their last legs.
Battles
If I had to pick one,
Just fucking
I
do
think-
or die.
I think it's Dillian White, but only because I think he's gonna he's probably got a little more left in the tank. He's been resting, he hasn't really been fighting tough fights lately, and Joyce went through that gauntlet of two Zhang fights, then he fucking lost to
Cesaro.
Chisora. So yeah, man, I just don't think Joe's got a whole lot left. I think I'd pick White.
Two for White, one for Joyce Virtuoso. How do you see it? Fucking
agree.
Bronx.
The Bronx hate him.
Fucking Bronx, bro. Like, fucking Bronx. Did I go to Michael? Michael, who's winning that fight?
I'm going Dylan, bro. I've always told you Joe Joyce is fucking horrible.
He is fucking horrible.
He is. But it's really battle of the wash, to be honest with you. I
It
know.
is, but those fights be good though.
They be
the battle
funnest
of the
ones.
wash.
They really do. 'Cause,
Undefeated.
yo, these two are gonna swing.
Bro, if somebody gonna get knocked out, that's for sure. That's for
Yeah.
sure. Somebody gonna get knocked out. Undefeated, White or Joyce. How's it go?
I'm gonna go with White because I think Joyce is. I think he's shot, bro. He's done,
I mean, I don't
Yeah.
like honestly he lost to Derek Chisora. Let that sink
bro.
in.
I lost money on that fight, bro. Fucking Joyce. Bro.
I told y'all, bro.
I'm
That's-
saying somebody should have told Teddy Atlas if anything. Real talk.
We're
Joe
firemen.
Joyce, remember he was the one who said he was the new George Foreman. You don't remember? He literally said that.
He
Like,
also
We're firemen.
You're
Bro,
bugging. You're
we're
bugging.
firemen.
We're firemen.
Hey,
Real talk. Joe Joyce, Dillian White.
I think it's gonna be White, bro. I feel like he fought the better people, and I feel like he definitely got more left in the tank.
Let me go to Roman. Roman, Joe Joyce, Dillian White.
Joe Joyce, I've never been a fan of Dylan White, really. I don't like his chin. I do not like his chin. I think Joe Joyce is tougher. And Chisora has been looking good lately as well. He's won his last fight recently, knocking down Wallin. I mean, Dylan White has looked like ass his last two fights. I'm going with Joe.
Honestly, he has. Fight. How do you see it? Joe Joyce, Dillian White. Who do you think wins?
I'm surprised so many people are picking Dillian White. I agree they're both shot, but I'm going with Joyce because, again, they're both have seen much better days, but White has always been susceptible to getting hit. His defense is terrible. His coordination and reflexes are bad. Those all get way worse with age. And as much as Joe Joyce is just a big, stiff robot, his technique is still decent enough to where he could hit a guy like White, who I think is going to fall down after a few rounds. So not a good fight, not one where I'm that excited about the winner, but I think Joyce wins.
I want to say that I want to say about that fight. I like that fight in the video I did. I said I like the fight. I'm not too good to enjoy two guys that might be shot, giving each other CTE. That's what we're here for. And I like that fight. Lawrence Okolie versus Richard Riakporhe. I probably shouldn't even bother to ask because I already know what everybody gonna say. Everybody gonna pick
50-50.
No, it's not. No, it is not. No,
I'll
it
take
is
the
not.
octopus on that one.
I'm with the octopus on that one. That's not a 50-50 fight, bro.
Octopus. What the hell?
Bro, that's not a 50. Lawrence, bro, that's not
Who's
a
the
50-50
octopus?
fight, bro. Lawrence Okolie, bro.
Since when is he called that?
Bro, since he looked like the octopus man when he be fighting, bro. Like, octopus man, like he doing all type of shit. Besides, like I told y'all, once I seen Richard Riakporhe with shagging Madonna, I already like, oh man.
Yo, did he actually do that?
What? Oh
Yes,
man.
bro.
That nigga's a
You just knew about this.
The thing is,
He's banging that corpse right
my
now.
dude. The thing is, listen, y'all talking shit, but if Madonna was at the laundromat and she start looking at
Jules. Don't finish.
Nah, come on, Jules.
Don't do that.
She's 64 years old, my dude. Let's relax on that.
Border. You know what I'm saying? You never know.
Borderline,
yo.
man. Cross that
never
borderline, dude.
I'm telling you, like they saying that, but on a humble, on a Tuesday at the laundromat.
No, don't say it again. Don't say it again, bro.
To bring it up.
Jules, you're just as bad as these jokers on Twitter who be putting these videos of themselves fucking gooning over fucking old ass grandmas and shit.
Hey, yo.
That's fucking weird, bro. This generation is
out here
crazy,
thinking
bro.
like a social security recipient. That's what she's thinking.
I'm telling you, bro. Now we got. Go ahead, Defeated.
She is old. She's 60, but her net worth is from 850 million to 1.2 billion. So I will wax her. Bro.
You fucking would. You fucking would. And the shit is they would too. They just wouldn't tell you, but they would too. They would too.
Hey, I'll give you this cock. Just don't say nothing.
Don't say nothing.
I thought you said you guys were going to say, yeah, it's not a 50 fight that these guys are going to put us to sleep. I thought that was what this was all about.
No. In fairness, it looks like there was something to what Lauren said about boiling down the cruiserweight, because you notice that at Bridgerweight he was explosive. He beat the shit out of the Polish guy. And then the fight that he just had, it was the same shit. He was moving around. He's moving and grooving. He didn't look slow and sluggish. He wasn't holding. He just knocked the motherfucker out. So I feel inclined to believe what he said, that boiling down the cruiserweight was taking something out of him. And now that he don't got to do that no more, yeah, he fat and all of that, but he moved better as a fat guy than he did a skinny guy. He moved way better. So I'm gonna go with Lawrence to knock
Yeah,
out
so
Richard
am I.
Riakporhe. I'm gonna go
Yeah.
with Lawrence.
Jules, would you apply that theory to Joshua Buatsi? Does he need to become a fat guy to become a better fighter?
I'm gonna be. I think he's overrated, bro. Like I'm settled that he's over. Like he ain't it, bro. Like, and I've been settled for at least a year and a half. To like, this dude is not it, bro. You an Olympian. You was supposed to have been done. If you was that dude, you would have did a lot of other shit by now. You really ain't done shit, bro. So I wouldn't be surprised if Callum smokes him. I wouldn't be. What do you think about that fight? My buddy from New Zealand, Buatsi versus Callum Smith. How do you see that?
Well, I think Buatsi should win, and he should win impressively because I've never rated either of the Smith brothers that highly. So I think Buatsi's the better athlete. He's got better technique. He's faster, better reflexes. So he should win. Yeah, for me, it's just a question of how good he wins. I don't expect him to drop Callum Smith because Smith, again, I don't rate his skills, but he's decent. He's got decent level of toughness. So Buatsi, really, if he's going to be a big challenge to the winner of Bivol and Beterbiev and Benavides, if Benavides is able to beat the winner, then I think he needs to at least win 8 rounds to 4, and he should do that.
Do you guys agree with that evaluation? Do you think that Buatsi beats Callum Smith?
Is that Mirage's cousin?
That's not fucking Mirage, bro.
Hold on. Can I just respond to that quickly? Mirage has been on my case every time I go on other panels.
That's your cousin,
that guy's
bro.
in love with me. I am not Mirage.
He's not Mirage, bro.
That's his cousin. I'm not saying that's Mirage.
Mirage is a clown who follows me around everywhere. He
follows Benavides around everywhere too. So
yo, Mirage needs to come on here and explain this.
He's fucking right there. Mirage is right there, bro.
I love it, bro.
Ask NZ guy about Canelo. Oh my God.
Tell
Jesus Christ.
Listen, I don't want to do the Canelo Benavidez. I don't want to do that. We did that yesterday, dog. Like,
yeah,
we got a big card coming up. We got big card coming up. Big fights.
Mirage is cheering for William Skull.
No, wait a minute. Wait a minute now. Josh Taylor is coming back. We all know what he's been looking like. Do you think that he has anything to give the welterweight division? Do you think he has anything to give?
Before I give my answer, so I'm a very big Josh Taylor fan. If he was going to actually take it seriously, fight regularly, and properly get back into the fight, his first fight doesn't need to be. I won't even say it needs to be somebody good. If his first fight was just against some area level bum, and then he brought it back up in like 2 to 3 fights, and actually fought on a regular schedule, I would say 110% yes. But that will never fucking happen. So no, he's gonna get battered up there.
You think Essuman, because he's fighting this Essuman kid. Essuman only has 1 loss. He's an action guy, throws a lot of punches. But the main thing with Josh, I always felt, you stayed at 140 too long, and when you do that, you're not getting the proper nutrition. So you're likelier to get injured. You're likelier to get a fucking foot injury or some bullshit. Because you 5'10" at 140, my guy. That shit is not healthy, bro. So at 147 with the added 7 pounds, I'm just wondering if anybody is optimistic.
That, and I heard he has a drinking problem.
But
yeah, I heard that too.
Don't we all?
Nah, but that's
Jules, but
we don't box.
Only on
but
the
Taylor,
weekends.
but the reports on Taylor are that motherfucker is a barroom brawler. He goes and gets fucked up and then starts fighting.
Espera. He wouldn't be. Wait.
Shit.
He wouldn't be Scottish if he wasn't, bro. I'm just saying, like, yeah, he's
I was about
fucking
to call him
drinks.
Irish. I ain't gonna let you.
Yo, you was about to call him Irish?
I'm
That's
racist
fucking,
for that. I'm so sorry.
Yo, you fucking crazy, bro. Whatever. So nobody has any optimism about Josh Taylor's welterweight campaign.
I'll say this much, Jules. I'll say this much. Signing with Frank Warren, Frank is going to move him correctly. I think he can maneuver him correctly.
I don't know about that.
And get him into the position to get a belt at 47. I think if anybody can do it, it can be Frank.
Okay. So Ignacio believes he can be guided properly by Frank. Who disagrees?
I disagree.
All
He's
right.
fighting
What?
Echo Esserman for his
That's
first
what-
fight at welterweight.
What's wrong with Echo
What?
Esselman?
No, that's what I
Echo
was about to
Esserman
ask.
isn't a
Hold
bum.
on.
I just
Who's
like
this
I
fight
don't know
Michael,
about
you
that.
got to shut the fuck up.
Oh shit, my
Shut
fault.
it.
Fucking Canadian.
I can't fucking hear Ray.
Echo
My
Esserman
fault.
isn't like some type of bum or something. Like he had like I think one kind of bad loss. I forgot who it was against, but yeah, he's not like a trash guy. That's not a guy I would say, hey, you just lost basically 2 times in a row. But let's put you in against another guy like this at welterweight.
Do you think this is a sink or swim fight for Josh Taylor because he's fighting
Yes.
Esselman? Wow.
This
Bro,
is
he's
like
at
if
that
you
age.
lose this fight, it's time to go.
Wow. So y'all, Michael,
So
you
this
have
is a
any
dangerous
faith?
fight.
Virtuoso, you have any faith in Josh Taylor's welterweight campaign? Any faith?
You know, I actually do. Because let me ask y'all a question. Would you pick him to beat Mario Barrios?
Yeah.
No,
Oh,
not
shit.
now.
Yes.
Not now.
That's what I was
50-50.
thinking.
No,
That's a
yes.
great point.
My
Ramos
dude, did
dropped
y'all
him,
see
actually.
the last dude
Yeah,
that he
yeah, bro.
fought?
Okay,
You're
wait,
not
Yeah,
supposed
actually,
to go
never
through
mind.
that.
Never mind. You're right.
You're not
Yeah.
supposed
remember-
to go through
you
that
know what's
with a
crazy?
dude like that, bro.
Before the fight started, I said, yo, if Abel Ramos could turn back the clock by 1 year, he could beat Mario Barrios. And he
Trying to tell
damn near
you.
did, bro.
Wasn't it a draw? It was a fucking draw. Let's go to my man in New Zealand. Do you have any faith that Josh Taylor can turn it around as a welterweight?
Yes, I believe he can turn it around. I'm not going to say that I pick him to beat the champions right now, but by saying that, the welterweight division is very open, and I don't think Boots Ennis is going to hang around much longer.
I agree
So
with that.
I don't think
Oh,
Josh Taylor will. I don't think Josh Taylor will have to challenge him. Yeah, I don't know if I'd pick him to beat Mario Barrios right now, but I mean Barrios, he's more experienced at the top level at welterweight, whereas Josh Taylor, he enjoyed fighting guys
No, I gotta disagree. What? Listen, you
or
can't
at
look at.
welterweight.
Not really, because if you think you got beat by Thurman, who was coming off a 2-year layoff, right? That's his
True.
experience level, right?
And the loss.
And a loss. Then you did fight bum ass Lugas, but Lugas was coming off a year layoff. So it's like you
Year and a
shaky,
half
bro.
layoff.
And a
Year and a
orbital
half
bone
layoff,
injury.
and he got stopped. And he got stopped by Spence
Yeah, with
before
an
that.
orbital injury as well.
Bro,
too.
he's the weakest champion of that weight class.
That's what I'm saying. That
Yeah.
if I look at Josh, look, I'll be honest. I don't think Josh beats Stanionis right now. No, not right now. No.
No.
Hell no.
I don't think he beats Boots. I don't. Brian Norman.
No. That would end up as a
See, it
Santiago
depends on what
fight.
Taylor you get.
It would end up as a Santiago.
Maybe if it's like 4 fights from now and he feeling good and doing good, but right now, no.
I think Karen beats him right now.
Yeah, Karen is a motherfucker. Honestly, Karen is a motherfucker.
Bro,
no,
Karen's
he is.
good,
He is.
bro.
He
He's
is.
good.
He is.
Bro, Karen's a
Shit.
tough fight
He's
for
got
you.
better
Hold on,
footwork
hold
than
on,
Cataway.
hold on.
Great movement.
Can he realistically? Can he beat Blair Cobbs?
Who?
Yes.
Josh
Yes.
Taylor?
Yes.
Yes,
Yeah.
he can.
Yes.
Yes.
I
Yes.
don't know.
That's
No,
not
no,
big
wait a
deal.
minute.
I don't know.
You got to understand. God bless Alexis Rocha, right? God bless him. But come on, B. Ain't no reason for Alexis. He don't need
He
to whoop
beat
your ass
the
like that.
life out of him,
He
bro.
fucked him up, bro.
You saw when Blair Cobbs tried to
That's
grab
funny,
him, bro,
bro.
and he punched him like 23 times in the face.
That's like
Look,
one of those feel good fights. You go back and watch.
That
and
was
you
a
feel
feel
them
good,
down.
and it's like, and here's the thing, and I'm not knocking Rocha, but it's like Rocha is not a dude that need to be fucking you up like that. Like
But wait, Blair Cox beat Adrian Broner, bro.
that is
Adrian Broner.
4 division
Are we
champion,
serious?
right?
He beat the ghost of
Bro, he
Adrian
got
Broner, and that's what he
two
Bring
beat.
times,
IQ. Bring
Yo,
IQ.
that
Here's
was-
a thought.
Go ahead.
I was just going to say, I understand you were mentioning that Ugas was on a long layoff and a beating from Spence when he fought Barrios. That's true. But Josh Taylor has had nothing but layoffs since he won the Undisputed title. I mean, he didn't exactly fight Jack Catterall very quickly after he beat Ramirez. And then he had a long layoff before he fought Lopez. And I don't think the layoff is the reason he lost. I think he lost because Lopez is just a more talented athlete. So
I disagree
Yeah.
with you. No, honest to God, I disagree on that. I really do. I don't think Lopez, honestly, and I'm guilty of it. He's overrated. Yes,
Yeah.
I'm gonna. He's overrated. Yes, he is, bro.
He lucked out, too.
Teofimo.
He
Yeah,
looked-
I'm
he
glad
lucked
you're
out,
finally
man.
seeing it, bro.
There's
Can
always,
I-
say that because
there's
you look
always.
Can I
like
say that?
Wait. Let me tell you why. New Zealand buddy, what's your name?
just fight sport talk, bro. That's the name of my channel.
That's
long
too
ass
long.
name.
Just make up a name, bro. Biff.
Mirage,
Just call him Marty
That's it.
McFly.
Just
What
call
the
me-
fuck?
just call me Kiwi. That's the native
I'll
bird
call you
of New Zealand.
Kiwi.
Evil
So here's the
Mirage,
thing,
bro.
Kiwi. So here's the thing, Kiwi.
Yep.
Lopez's biggest wins all have caveats, and I don't want to be petty when I do it, but I do think it matters that you fought Lomachenko with a shoulder injury. I do think that matters. If I'm evaluating you as a fighter, I'm not shitting on your win, but if I'm looking at how good do I really think Teofimo Lopez is, how good do I think? You fought Loma off a shoulder injury. You fought Josh Taylor off a long layoff, a controversial decision, and plantar fasciitis. Those are just the facts. I don't think he's that good. I do not think Lopez is that good. I'm sorry. Nah. You ain't, if you like that, you're not supposed to look like that with Jermaine Ortiz. You're not supposed to look like that with Sandor Martin. These is Claggett? Bro, you was
I'd just like to point out too, he did not dominate either of those fights that you were talking about before, the Lomachenko fight or the Taylor fight.
didn't.
Can I respond to that?
Go ahead.
Because
Sure.
I agree. Lopez, he's definitely got a ceiling, but I'm very high on him, and I think listen. No one is a bigger fan of Lomachenko than me, but he did dominate the first 6 rounds of that fight. I mean, Lomachenko barely threw a punch, and it's because Ring IQ. If I could just squeeze this in, the reason Lomachenko barely threw a punch in the first 6 rounds is because of what Lopez did to him.
You guys agree with that? Because look, there's different ways. I interpret it differently, that he didn't let go of a punch for 5 rounds. Could the injured shoulder have something to do with that?
No.
Okay, so to be fair, I remember I think it was like Boxing Beats and Rhymes that like made like a case for the Lomachenko's footwork issues being the reason why he couldn't really get let off a blow during that fight, where he basically said like, I don't know, it was weird how he explained it, but he was almost like, if you hit him at the right time, he has to reset and he doesn't throw a punch. And he's like, and if you could constantly do that, you won't really be landing, you won't land that cleanly maybe at times, but he won't really be that active.
So let's look at this from another lens. Let's just say we're not going to overanalyze those 2 victories. We're not even going to do that. We're not going to look for any reason to tear them down or anything like that. At the end of the day, you more often than not look average, because what we're really talking about is 2 fights in the last 5 years over 5 or 6 fights. You only really look good in 2 of them. You didn't look great with Campas. You didn't look great with Sandor Martin. You didn't look great with Jermaine Ortiz. You didn't look great with Claggett. So out of 6 fights, basically, right? Out of 6. Oh, and obviously George Kambosos. We saw what happened there. So, right? That if I look at how you've been looking the last 5 years, I can only name 2 fights where you looked all right. The rest of the time, you look bang average.
Well, this is why I don't have Lopez ranked very high on the pound-for-pound list, because of what you just said. He's got a ceiling and he looks bad against certain styles. But as a whole, I think Lopez is a very good fighter, and I think he looks bad when he looks past an opponent, which, again, is down to him. But I think as a whole, Lopez is a good fighter. I think there is a very good chance he knocks out Ryan Garcia and Devin Haney right now.
Once again, I don't like Ryan Kiwi. I don't like him at all. But the fact of the matter is, Teofimo is not the same dude coming forward that he is laying off. He's not. When he's coming forward, he's open for a lot of shit. That's how George caught him. That's how Sandor Martin caught him. That's why he struggled with Jermaine Ortiz. And Ryan is shit. Like, he's trash, bro. But he is taller. He is longer. He does have speed and power. And he does have a left hook. Could he walk Lopez into a counter left hook? I say yes. I could see that.
And he has a better trainer now.
No, they got the same trainer, okay?
Oh, yeah, but...
They got the same trainer, bro.
Are they ever going to fight, actually? I was always wondering about that.
Dudes is not going to fight,
I think his dad is going to coach him. You know, is that what happens?
I'm telling you.
Yo, I don't even want... No, wait. I don't want them to fight. Give me Lopez Sr. versus Henry Garcia. That's the fight.
Oh,
that's the undercard fight, Ring. That's the undercard.
Can I just say that is like Ruben Guerrero against Angel Garcia.
This is better. This is better because Teofimo let it be known that when he was born, his dad was on a lot of fucking coke. He literally said that somebody was on a lot of fucking coke. And Henry, Henry's a fucking weirdo. My money is on Lopez Senior to win, but I don't know, bro. I don't know. It's a good fight.
He might end up biting, his dad.
No, I
might,
take Senior just because he's more active in his son's career.
Yeah, and I think he fucks more bitches, and that
Yeah,
matters
oh,
too.
absolutely.
He fucks more bitches. Bottom line, even though I myself rate him highly. I know this sounds so fucking weird that I have him very close to the top 5 in my pound for pound off of merit. But when I see him, my opinion, Lopez is average. He's not special. You got 2 decent wins, and they were very fortuitous wins at very, very opportunistic times. I'm not knocking you, but it's just, you literally who beat Josh Taylor? Was it Teofimo or Jack Catterall? Bro, it was Jack, bro. Jack did that.
True.
Ray, I'm gonna
but
say something
Loki's
really messed up. Not gonna lie.
Go ahead.
But
the way
Well-
I view Teofimo Lopez, recently, because some people started putting out documentaries on James Toney and shit, and people kind of found out, low key, he's a bit fraudulent when you think about him in these conversations. That's kind of how I view Teo.
Really?
Yeah, like when people talk to you, like those same ways, people are just like, man, remember that legendary fight he had against Michael Nunn? And I remember I'm like, bro, I watched that fight. He got his ass whipped until he knocked him out.
That's another
That's
thing.
how I look at Teo.
That's fair. That's fair. That I'll give him this. I give him more props for the win over Taylor because I thought he did look better with Taylor than he looked with Lomachenko. With Lomachenko, honestly, I don't think you did much of anything. I just think Loma didn't let his hands go for the first 5
Let
rounds.
me go to the Taylor fight then, though. I remember his what's it called? Corners. They're usually very honest or very dishonest with their fighters, but I remember Taylor's corner literally said, "Yo, you just need 2 more rounds and you've won the fight." And everybody thought that was crazy.
That's crazy.
And then I remember thinking about the fight midway, and I said, "Nah, he hasn't really been dominated for many rounds. He got hurt 1 round maybe.
Yeah.
Teo won a couple of rounds in the middle,
And he started off
Taylor
strong.
won some of the rounds better. I don't really understand how this is a blast away fight. I don't think he's winning by a lot. He might actually be right.
Honestly, Jules, I think due to extenuating circumstances, due to performances against subpar competition, I think it'd be fair to omit Teofimo even based on his merit, because it's okay,
I get
those
that.
2 wins are great, but it's the circumstances in which you won.
I get
And
that,
then
but no,
I think
I'll
it'd be
say
fair
this.
to omit, bro.
I'll say this because what really puts Teofimo over the top, and the reason that he has a cushy spot on my list is because he's not just a guy who won a belt or won some belts. He was Ring Magazine, he was Lineal, and it was the same at super lightweight. You don't get Ring Magazine for bullshit. You know what I mean? You gotta fight somebody to get Ring Magazine. You gotta fight, and he's a 2-time Lineal. So it's I'm gonna acknowledge that you got some good shit on your resume, but me, I don't think you shit. I do not I don't think you. I don't.
I kind of think it's stolen valor at 140 because Jack beat him first.
Right.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying though. Due to this the circumstances, bro.
I don't know. I think his wins are just Billy Joe Saunders Lemieux wins to me.
Wow.
No, it is. No. Wait. Let me land the plane.
Wait. I'm gonna pass it to you, but wait, you saying that Lomachenko is David Lemieux?
No. Let me land the plane. So what's it called? I remember I said this a while ago. I remember Billy Joe Saunders looks like dog shit against Arkhov, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then he goes into his fight with Lemieux, and everybody has him as an underdog, and he just styles on him, and everybody's like, "Oh my god! He's so amazing! Look how slick he is! Look how amazing he is! Remember that win he had against Lemieux?" And then people look back, they're like, "Bro, he was the faster fighter against a slow, hard-hitting Canadian. What do you expect to happen?" But then we go into the Lomachenko fight.
You said it. That you, the underdog, going into the Lemieux
That's
fight,
what it is. That's all he is.
because
He's
you
the
look
underdog
like
going
shit
into
with
the fight.
Akavov.
Yeah.
That's why you was the under. I get it.
Yeah,
I get it.
You was the
Teo goes
underdog because
into
you
a
look
fight
like
with
shit.
what's it called? With Taylor. He's the underdog, and everybody's like, "Yo, remember how ass he looked against Sandor Martin?" And it's like, yeah, he did. But I remember people who didn't care about that. They were like, "Yo, Josh Taylor hasn't been looking good either, bro. Like this could be a pretty even fight." But he looked so ass with Sandor Martin that of course you weren't looked at as a favorite. And
Next
then what happened with
question.
the Lomachenko fight? You
Next
were
question.
what?
Is Eddie Reynoso really like? We don't know. My question to you, Ray, and the rest of the panel, and I want y'all to go around with this one. Do you honestly believe that Eddie Reynoso will make Teofimo a better fighter?
Did he make Oscar a better fighter?
Yes.
No, he didn't.
Give
There's your
no, wait
answer,
a minute.
bro.
Give each other a chance, because I gotta take a piss. Go ahead.
I think the bones are there, bro. I think the I'm not gonna compare him to Canelo, but I'm saying the same way that the same way that Canelo's a counterpuncher, and relies on big punches. I think Reynoso has the tools, and I think the groundwork's there. I think Teo could do it if he actually focuses. It depends on whether or not he shuts his dad up.
I don't know. I'm gonna say no because there's other fighters that Eddie hasn't done shit with. Like, did he actually make Andy Ruiz a better fighter? Oscar Valdez a better fighter? Who else? It's kind of like, nah, I don't think so.
Yeah. I'll just say this real quick. I feel like Eddie Reynoso is known for just the success of just one fighter, and that's Canelo. And that wasn't even him. That wasn't even his fighter originally. That was Chepo's fighter. When he started out. But I feel like he instilled his father's teachings onto him. I'll give him credit for that. But I don't see much else as far as championship profile with other fighters from his stable. Other than Valdez, but that didn't last long. The success. So I would say no. I don't think he's gonna fix Teofimo's problems as far as tactical deficiencies that he has there.
I don't think Lopez is going to change that much because he's too arrogant, and his father is too much of a loud voice, and you can't. I mean, look at Chris Eubank Jr. He never really improved under Adam Booth because his father wanted to be the main man, and Adam Booth said, "Well, I'm not gonna waste my time with someone who doesn't listen to me, who just listens to his dad." And yeah, Lopez, again, I love the guy. I think he is the best out of Garcia, Tank, and Haney in terms of resume and skills. But yeah, he's just, I mean, Anthony Joshua was trained by guys who didn't really have any major credentials in the pros, but it was his skills and his talent that gave him his success. But he didn't improve to a master boxer overnight when he got with better trainers, because some fighters just improve and some fighters just do okay. And I think Lopez is in that later category. I think he's just a good fighter who does okay and looks bad sometimes because of his ego.
Anyone else?
I'll say that he has a shot, but honestly, I think that Kiwi was just saying, if he allows the father to still be a fucking disruption and not really let Eddie be the main guy that he has to listen to when he's training and when he's getting ready for fights, then yeah, it won't work. So at some point, Lopez has to make the decision. Do I actually want to maximize my boxing career and tell my dad that he needs to chill out and take a step back? Or is he always going to let his fucking loudmouth dad be the one in the spotlight, acting like he's the one fighting in the ring when we know he's not?
It's like that photo. That photo is so great.
Yeah, didn't somebody have the little avatar of that picture where fucking his dad's yelling like he won the fight?
That's just the fucking greatest, bro.
Yeah.
That's the greatest fucking thing ever.
We gotta wait till Juice comes back so you can whip that out. Pause. That gold suit, photo of him standing in front of his son.
I got you right now.
While his son's crying.
This fucking guy watches like 2 episodes of fucking
right now. Where the fuck
Game of Thrones?
That
fuck is
clip
my
is
shit? There you go.
insane. He saw, bro. In the clip, he saw the camera coming at him, and stood in front of his son. Like that's crazy, bro.
I said that you got to
That's
realize that from
insane.
his vantage point, he can see that the camera and production people are aiming the camera at his son, and he literally go back and watch it. He literally ran over to
I
be
know.
in front of
Listen,
the
I know
camera.
Aladdin was
Jules,
pissed
that's
off.
some
He saw that
movie
shit.
shit.
That's crazy, bro. His dad on some other
That's
kind of
fucking.
time.
Bro, that's some shit
Well,
I'd expect to see in a movie. Like this
It's
actually
fucking
happened.
hilarious,
It's
bro.
nuts.
That's some rom-com shit, bro. Like that's some fucking Adam Sandler, Ben Stiller type shit. Like, are you
That
for
is
real,
the
fam?
that is the
Yeah.
literal
Yo.
definition of living vicariously through your children.
It is. Shout out to Malice with Malice within Jules. So is Usyk officially going back to 200? It's an option, bro. We don't know what that man gonna do. If it's up to me, he retires. There's nothing left to
Yeah.
do.
I can
Yeah.
I can say for certain Usyk never goes back to cruiserweight. That was just talk. He was never. It would have been crazy to go back down to
But he
a division
could.
where you're gonna have to cut weight
No, he
in your
could. He
late
could.
30s.
Listen, he's been complaining about the regimen ever since it started. That he got to keep eating to keep that, and he's not even putting on a lot of weight as a heavyweight. What was he? 221 in the Fury fight.
Yeah.
That's not-
23.
That's not a lot for a dude that's 6'3". That's a trip to the bathroom, bro. 20 pounds? It's not a lot,
Right.
bro.
I
So
agree, but
I think he could get there. 6'3", yeah, he can get back down to cruiser. And who really there does he really, aside from
It's just
Jai,
Jai.
and I think he can beat Jai, by the way. I do think
Yeah.
he can beat Jai. Jai will be dangerous at the start while he got something. But we've seen it we've seen it 2 times now. If you get into round 9 and round
Yep.
10, you start to slow down, start to get hit. So and what does Usyk have? A great fucking engine. So it's like, yeah, I would pick
That's
Usyk
true.
I would pick Usyk to win, to beat everybody in that division right now.
well,
All the champions at least.
Mhm.
well, I don't think he should do it. Again, I would like to see him retire like you, but if Joseph Parker beats Dillian White, then I'm happy to see that fight or the
Daniel
winner
Dubois.
of
I agree with that. I agree with that.
Yeah.
That will happen, I
That's
think, too.
That's the only scenario where I don't mind Usyk staying at heavyweight and sticking around. If you give me a Joseph Parker fight, that's intriguing. But being
It
honest, it's not going to happen that way. I think Daniel going to steamroll Joseph Parker.
Yeah.
That's what I think.
Okay. Well,
I'm-
I look forward to getting back on
Yeah.
your show before the fight because I've got mixed feelings on that fight.
The problem is Joseph technically, in terms of technique, I mean, he is a better boxer than Daniel,
Mhm.
but he's not a better physical specimen than Daniel, and that's how Daniel's gonna fight. He's just
Yeah.
gonna go out, don't guns blazing,
Yeah,
swinging for the
retard
fences.
strength.
Yeah, man, I'm Daniel Dubois.
I need
that's what
Joseph to knock him out, bro.
I-
I need.
Bro, I wouldn't mind that because it'll shake everything up. I don't mind, like, bro, that'll turn the heavyweight division on its head if he does that. Like, yeah, Joseph
Complete
got a
the
title
comeback
again.
story.
Because Usyk would have fought everybody in the heavyweight division at that point, basically the best guys from the division.
Exactly, and that would be a reason to me that is more intriguing than seeing the same fight because a couple of people thought it was a legal punch. Honestly, it just doesn't look legal to me, bro. You
No.
already taller than him. You going for an uppercut, but you already taller than him. You bending at the waist and knees coming from down here looked to me like you meant to do that. That's how it looked to me. I thought it was the right call because a couple of people thought, oh, he was robbed of the knockout. It's like, well, that's not reason enough to do a whole fight again.
Can
bro.
I just
I'm
say that
sorry.
one thing though? People keep telling me he was robbed of the knockout. Can I say this? Did that knockout make you quit?
Exactly.
Did
Exactly.
the knockout
It's
make
not
you say,
even
you know
that,
what?
it's
This
like,
swivel
it's
jab
not
hurt me a little
correct
bit too
because
hard. Let me sit
It's
down.
robbed of a knockdown, not a fucking knockout. You have no idea.
the
if
very
Usyk would've got
most.
a-
Well, the punch
Exactly.
Well, the punch
Motherfucker
was
literally
low.
said he was disheartened, bro.
The
And the
punch
shit
was
is-
low.
I seen
And
the
the shit is that the fight went. It's not like the fight wrapped right after that. The fight went a couple of rounds
Yeah.
right after that, and you had plenty of time to keep going to the body. Then, if it was that, if you really capitalized, if it was really a body shot, then just keep going to the body.
and here's the
Daniel.
thing.
Stopped him in the 7th, didn't he?
And here's the thing too, Usyk dominated the fight besides that one illegal thing. I mean, it was all Usyk in that fight
and,
anyway.
and that
Yeah,
illegal
pretty
shit
much.
that happened in round 4, right?
Yeah, I think that's just a lot of people. Look, people get sick of guys like us praising Usyk because we seem like hipsters when we praise a guy that they don't watch. So they'll look for any little thing to try to tear him down, so that when he gets knocked down by Daniel Dubois, they're gonna latch onto that for dear
Same thing
life.
with
Like
the New Way and fucking Neary.
literally same thing. Literally the exact same thing.
But then they don't say shit when Morrell drops Benavidez Frankenberry on his ass.
They had a fucking
Benavidez.
they had a tribunal over that. It wasn't a knockdown. Listen,
It wasn't. It wasn't a knockdown.
Listen. You're confusing. You're confusing, and I think everybody's doing this. You're confusing people saying that he got hurt, and people saying it was a knock. No, it was a knockdown. Both gloves touched the canvas, and ultimately, it's the referee's discretion. If he wants to rule it a knockdown, ultimately, if you want someone to blame, then blame the referee, because it was at his discretion to rule it a knockdown or rule it a slip. If he ruled it a knockdown, though, I see why both gloves touched the canvas and it was off a punch. Was Benavidez hurt, though? No, it was because their feet was caught. His foot was on the outside of Morrell's foot, and when Morrell caught him with the shot, he tripped over his foot. That's what it was. But was it a knockdown? Yeah, it was a knockdown.
But Jules, the punch landed on the shoulder. It didn't land on Benavidez's chest.
It's a
punch.
Is that
Doesn't matter.
now, or is that still the new guy?
No,
But it didn't.
No. It's look when Trevor McCumbee. Wait a minute.
I'm not Mirage.
When Trevor McCumbee knocked down Caleb Plant, he punched him on the shoulder. It was still a knockdown. He punched him on the shoulder, but it was still a knockdown. The point is that it was off a punch, and with Caleb it was more brazen. With Benavidez, it's a little bit more technical. That while you didn't get sat on your ass per se, both your gloves touched the canvas. Yeah, that's a knockdown, bro.
Yep, knockdown.
But not from a.
I guess because you would say it's not an illegal shot, so yeah, it would still count. I guess, yeah.
Yeah. Now, him being hurt by something, he was hurt, but it wasn't by the knockdown. It was in the 4th round when he got caught with that counter right hand. He went for an uppercut. Morrell caught him with a counter right, and he rocked him. He was hurt, And I don't even want to focus on Benavidez, man. Like enough of that.
Yeah, but let me change the subject. I got a question about something else now. Mr. Shiraz, Hamza.
Hamza Shiraz.
Hamza Shiraz. I want to know if he beats Adames, and I think all of us are picking him to beat Adames. Do you think?
I'm not.
Wow.
Yes.
We'll get to you in a second then, because I was thinking if Shiraz beats Adames, do you think Turkey gets him and Janibek in the same ring?
I'm not Yanni Beck. If Lara stays on this dog shit schedule that he's on, I could see Shiraz going for him first before Yanni Beck. I could see that.
But staying at 160 and unifying.
I think he will, and I think it's better for 160 if he does. But I'll just say this: I do have Shiraz knocking out Adames. A lot of the hype around Adames is centered around the familiarity of the people that he fought. That he knocked out Montiel. Big fucking deal. Munguia knocked out Montiel. He fought a decrepit Sergey Didivianchenko. Who didn't, bro? Jacobs fought him. Golovkin fought him. Munguia. Everybody done been there and done that with fucking Sergey. That's really not a big deal. The real Adames is the one you saw in the last fight with Terrell Gausha.
Yeah.
That's the real Adames. That when it's not this and that, when it's not all these added bells and whistles and angles and bullshit, that's the real Adames. The guy that got hurt by Patrick fucking Teixeira at 154. That's the real fucking Adames. And if Patrick Teixeira can hurt you, Shiraz can hurt you.
Oh yeah,
great fight,
he
by the way.
absolutely can. That's a great. Yeah, I like the fight. I like the fight. I do like the fight.
That whole card, bro.
We're 2 weeks away.
I'm telling you, bro.
Best card ever. Best card ever.
I don't know how they're gonna. I don't know how they're gonna be able to top it. To be honest, because it's like, and we starting off the year with this.
I bet they will, man.
Won't be able
I bet they will.
while.
They will eventually.
Not for a while. Like this one's really.
No,
Crawford's
the
crazy.
only thing that's better than this is if Teofimo loses his next fight. That would be the only thing better than
And
that.
Benvenides.
Would
And
you?
Ben
Well, okay,
Venuti.
hold on. But we would have to see Richardson Hitchinson win a fight though. If that's the one next.
My dude,
Yeah,
the shit
bro,
is.
I don't know
no,
who's worse.
No. Let's be honest about something. I'm not a fan of pure boxers. Everybody knows that. It's not my cup of tea. But Richardson Hitchens stands a legitimate chance of winning that fight. He
That's
actually
bad.
does.
Picking
But I don't want to see that coward win.
It's bro. At the end of the day, what are the things that constantly give Teofimo problems? Movement,
Everything.
Slick
good
boxes.
jab, slick boxes.
Slick
That's
black
Hitchens.
So,
Slick
so
black
everything.
fighters,
No,
bro.
to be
No,
fair,
nobody's
he
not
called it
saying
out.
that. We just don't like Hitchens.
He
No,
doesn't move his feet that much.
shut your ass. Slick Spaniards too, cause fucking Sandor Martin, slick Spaniard. He was slick, but he's not a slick black boxer.
Fucking Australians give him problems, bro.
Bro, everything gives him problems.
Yo,
Bro.
you know what's
His
crazy,
sword
by
is
the
giving
way?
problems.
His
His wife
woman
giving
gives him
problems.
Also.
Well, can
Remember Ortiz?
can I say this
Go
about
ahead, Kiwi.
yeah about Teofimo? By the way, what's the deal with that Richards in fight? Is it happening? Is it
I
signed
mean,
or?
It's
not signed yet, but it needs to be because, and I started the show with this. Matias's fight is already made. His fight is an IBF
Right.
eliminator. If you guys don't negotiate a deal in between now and the time that he wins that fight, you're gonna have problems because now he's in your way. Now he's and neither of you are gonna fight him. Teofimo's not gonna fight Matias.
They
not
both
gonna
ducked
fight
him.
Yeah.
And
Hitchens
you're not
is not.
having no faith in Valenzuela?
No.
Yeah, well, I've got a lot of problems with how
Yo, we need to make a
goes about
gentleman's
his-
bet, bro.
I've got a lot of problems with how Teofimo handles his career and how he goes about turning down fights. But with I agree, William Hitchens is a bad matchup because Teo doesn't do well against slick boxers, but he also does rise to the occasions. I know.
That's a
you
cliche,
guys-
Kiwi. That is a cliche. That
Not
is a
exactly.
cliche.
Not
It is.
Well,
it is.
hang on. Does everybody here rate Lomachenko very highly?
I mean,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
A
nobody has
7-5
beaten-
win over Lomachenko?
But
Are we
that's
really
from-
doing this?
Well,
It's not even that. Look. It's not even. It's that the win is from 5 years ago. That's how
Well, I've
far
also-
back we gotta go. 5 years. We still talking about some shit from 5 years ago, my dude. You've been fighting, so that's saying
Well-
that in 5 years you only looked okay.
That's like gloating
2
about
times.
a bitch you fucked 5 years ago.
Well, he
For
didn't.
real.
Okay, it was his skill that allowed him to. Again, he's the only guy to have a non-controversial win over Lomachenko, and even against Ortiz. Okay, you could say he got outboxed, but it was his aggression that forced Ortiz to. I mean, Ortiz could have done way more in that fight, but he didn't.
Antonio
because-
Moran was better aggressively against Ortiz than Teofimo
Damn.
Lopez was.
Yep.
Fair
Easily.
point. Fair
Yep.
point. But there was a reason Ortiz didn't let his hands go in that fight because Lopez is very fierce on the front foot. So I'm not gonna write him off against-
I completely. I think that was. I'll say this. I think that was a political decision in the Ortiz fight.
really,
Yeah, I think it was political. Who the fuck you gonna sell Jermaine Ortiz to, bro? Come on.
Can I ask you, you know
Massachusetts.
why else? You know why he also lost? Bro,
Yo,
you know
why you
why he
hating on
didn't
the
let his hands
Dominicans,
go?
bro?
Hold on. You know why he didn't let his hands go? Because he has a Cuban trainer. Amateur
Oh.
trainer.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, them dudes try to win a boxing match doing anything but throwing punches, bro. They'll do anything but throw fucking punches. Like I'm gonna beat him with my defense and shit. Jerry said,
Okay.
"Good evening, ladies and Benavidez Senior
Oh my
was on."
God.
Didn't I say that was gonna happen?
you just can't help it.
This fucking guy doesn't
Is
quit.
Mirage in the
I ain't
chat
gonna lie,
too?
Jerry loves this channel. Bro. He really
Yo,
does, bro.
Yo, no, the main thing is don't let him and Mirage find each other at a Benavidez fight because they're gonna start making out immediately.
Can I? Look,
Fucking
I'm the
French
biggest critic of Canelo Alvarez, and I'm a huge fan of Benavidez. But can we just move on from the Benavidez Canelo fight? It's
Is
never
that-
happened.
Yeah.
Look, here's the
boring,
thing.
bro.
Here's the thing, and I'm gonna leave it here. We literally already know that this year is completely ruled out for that fight to even be a conversation. It is. Skull is
Yeah.
next, and Crawford is after that. So there's just no point to keep. There's no point.
Talking
Like, bro,
about this
y'all
shit.
already know
Bro,
what he gonna do.
Bro, fuck
Like,
them both. Fuck both of those guys, Canelo and Benavidez.
I,
Simple like
can I
that.
just ask
There's
can I
more
just ask
boxing
Kiwi?
going on, man.
Kiwi? I just
What
wanted
up?
to get back
What up?
to you on that. Why did you want Adamas or think Adamas is going to beat Shiraz?
Okay, I'm not picking him to blow Shiraz out of the water. I think it's going to be a close decision. I wouldn't be surprised if I score the fight for Adames, but Shiraz gets it because he's the favorite. But Shiraz, in my opinion, he at times against Ammo Williams, he had his hands down too low, and if Ammo Williams wasn't trying to look like Mike Tyson and blitz him from long range, then he might have landed something. And Adames, listen, I get frustrated with anybody like I love the guys at Pro Box, but they're pushing Adames to be above Janibek because he's American. I hate it. But
Well, it's not because
Adames is strong.
Wait a
He's
minute.
Adames is strong.
It's not because he's American per se. It's not really that. It's because it's the weirdest thing. Yanni Beck is based out of America, for those that don't know. He's actually based out of, I think it's either LA or California. He's based out of one of those places.
Yeah, he's based out of Woodland Hills, which is the Valley, Jules.
There you go. Whereas Adames, I think, is based out of Miami, right? Isn't he? Miami or Texas, one of them.
Because he's Dominican, right?
Yeah, he's a Dominican guy. So I know what you mean when you say that they're trying to big him up because he's sort of from over here, even though he's not. But I see what you mean. But it's just I remember Adames from the days of Top Rank, bro. I'm sorry, nah, he ain't it. He's not it.
Well, I agree with you. I'm not picking Adames to beat Janibek. I just think the reason why I'm picking him to beat Shiraz is because sometimes, and this is with every promoter, but sometimes Frank Warren's boys, they don't do so well when they step up. And Adames is experienced. He's been in there with better guys, and he can punch and he's strong. So I don't think he's going to get out-muscled or bullied by Shiraz on the inside. So I don't think he makes it to the inside, Kiwi. I don't think Adames makes it there.
I don't know. Not thinking about it.
No. One thing Shiraz has is a great jab. Go back and watch the Mo Williams fight. He's a great.
Where he got cracked twice.
He was fighting a southpaw though.
Is it? I'm pretty sure Adames could switch. Yeah, he's a southpaw too.
He ain't Terrence fucking Crawford.
He's not. But he's still.
Shiraz got wicked power, man.
Are we
Shiraz-
really still on Shiraz?
Let me address this super chat. It's very simple. Let me address the super chat because it's actually very simple. He really wants to keep the conversation on the same thing every night. By the way, that's not normal.
And he pays you.
That's why I'm addressing his question. I'll give him that much. The thing is that if the WBA and the WBC order the fight, it only really matters depending on who wins the fight. If Better Beef wins the fight, that's not good news for you, Jerry. If Better Beef wins the fight and they order it, you think that's good news for David? It's not, bro. How is that good news?
Or he doesn't beat either or though.
I disagree. I think
no. But wait a minute. Let me finish. Let me land the plane. That the only way it's good news is if Bivol wins, and I'm not sure what's going to happen later on this month, by the way. But let's say Bivol wins, and let's say there is a trilogy. What then happens is they'll give those two belts to David Benavidez, but he still won't fight the winner. They'll just gift him those belts. These two guys will go have their trilogy, and the titles will stay split. But the prediction remains the same. He's not fighting the winner of that fight. I promise you, he's not. So go ahead.
Really?
Absolutely.
You think if I hope there isn't a trilogy. Even if Bivol wins, I
don't want there to be a trilogy either, Kiwi. But
not an immediate one.
Listen. He literally confirmed my suspicions last week. I've suspected all along that conversations were being had about a Zurdo Ramirez fight. I suspected that they already had a dialogue about that when they had a meeting last year. I suspect, and I've been saying it over and over, that when he met up with Oscar last year, what could they have been talking about aside from a Zurdo Ramirez fight? What else is there to talk about? And fast forward, there's a Ring Magazine article that was published about a week ago where he says it. They already had a dialogue about a Zurdo Ramirez fight. He's been calling him out en route to Morel. He's been saying, I'll go to Cruz, I'll fight Zurdo. So they already laid the foundations for him to move up. They already did it. He's not fighting the winner of that fight.
Well, the Benavidez they say a lot of stuff, so I'm not going to... I'll wait until after the fight. If they do push for Zurdo, then I'll be the first to do videos and criticize them. But I don't think it will happen anyway because Turkey is working with Zurdo and he wants Zurdo to fight Jail Pataya.
Do you think Zurdo wants to fight Jail Pataya?
Oh.
I don't think he really wants to.
Do you think Oscar wants him to fight Jail Pataya?
No way.
Definitely not. Oscar De La Hoya grinds my gears.
This is what I'm telling you, that for these guys, for David, for Zurdo, the safer alternative for the both of them in their eyes is each other. Why do you think Zerto went for
Well,
Chris
that-
Billum Smith? Who mic is that?
I don't know.
Why do you think Zerto went for Chris Billum Smith instead of Jayo Pataya, who was literally right there the whole time? He's right there. Nah, let me go
Because-
for Chris.
Yeah, Zerto. Yeah, well, I'm not defending De La Hoya. I've got loads of problems with how he protects his cash cows, but I just don't think Turkey will get in the way of Zerto and Jai fighting.
It's not about Turkey getting in the way. Look at what's going on with. Yo, who the fuck? Yo, whoever that is, I'm gonna find out who you are and I'm gonna
Mute your
kick you the
mic.
fuck off. Turkey wanted to make Stevenson versus William Zepeda for months. Months. Are we getting that fight?
No, unfortunately.
You know what we're getting? A Farmer rematch. A Tevin Farmer rematch in Cancun. So the point that I'm trying to get across is Turkey might want to make it, but he's not the end all and be all. When the fighters don't want to fight, they don't want to fight. Why you think Gervonta Davis ain't over there? Turkey want to bring him to Saudi. He wants to pay him a bunch of money, but Gervonta Davis doesn't want to do it.
It was never gonna
Because
happen.
Tank Davis is a fraud.
Of course, I agree, but that's the point I'm making. That
Well,
even if Zerto stands a decent chance, whatever, ultimately Oscar does not want that fight for his fighter. He wants something for America. He want to do something here, and in all likelihood, it will be the Benavidez fight.
well, if Benavidez ducks the Bivol Beterbiev winner and Zerto ends up ducking Jai Pataya, I'll do half a dozen videos on it. So we'll wait and see. I personally don't think Benavidez is clout chasing as much as some people say. I think, again, if Bivol, first of all, regardless of who wins, Bivol and Beterbiev, I think Benavidez beats Bivol. He's got to improve his footwork, but
Oh, this
Bivol,
fucking mirage.
oh come
sorry.
on! I'm not.
I'm sorry.
I'm not Mirage.
Listen. I'm sorry, Kiwi, but no, Benavidez does not beat. He doesn't beat either of them. In fact, I don't even know that he can beat Anthony Yard. He hits like a girl as a
Really?
light heavy.
Hold on.
Anthony-
Wait a minute. Wait a minute.
I'm
Wait a
against
minute.
that
No, wait a minute. Wait a
Wait,
minute.
no.
He hit. Wait a minute. He hits like a girl as a light heavyweight. Can we cut the fucking crap?
Yeah, he does.
He hits like a girl.
He never scratched Vojtic for crying out loud. Shit.
I don't
I've
know.
seen
Anthony Yarden
seen
looking ass.
Vojtic hurt. Forget Better Beef. Because Better Beef hurts everybody. Adonis fucking Stevenson rocked his ass when they fought right before Vojtic put him in the hospital. But it's like, yeah, I've seen Vojtic hurt before, but not by you. And he's older now than he was then. This should have been easy if you are who they say you are.
Calling
Well,
him Devin.
I agree with you that Benavidez didn't look great against Vosdek, but I was very impressed with his performance over Morel. So again,
I'm
with
not.
improved footwork, I think he beats Bivol. Beterbiev,
I disagree. I
You're totally
disagree.
right.
Fucking
Listen, no,
footwork.
wait
He
a
walks
minute, wait a
around like
minute.
he's got-
One at a time, fellas. Like y'all all jump on the guy at the same time. You say improved footwork, and you're ignoring why that was ruled a knockdown. It was because of poor footwork. Your feet got tangled with his, and you ended up tripping. Shit footwork. But with him, but he has better footwork than Bevo. Like,
no,
no, I'm not saying you are. I'm saying it's a fantasy. What you're describing is a different fighter than the one that's actually in front of you. It's a different. You got to be talking about a different guy. This guy's footwork has not changed since 2017. He stomps around like a fucking Clydesdale. It hasn't changed.
Well,
Squares
he's gotta
up.
be flat-footed, bro. He's got to be actually flat-footed, if you ask me.
His feet are nailed to the fucking floor. Jerry said Benavidez will be in Saudi for ringside. Yo, he could be there. He could be under the ring while they fight, bro. He's not fighting. Like, I don't know how many more different
Jules.
languages I need to say it in.
Jules, can I respond to what you said? Because I agree. Benavidez, I said he needs to improve his footwork. I'm not saying with the footwork now he beats Bivol because Bivol's an excellent mover, but I think if he improves his footwork and Benavidez is getting better, I think he beats Bivol.
I disagree. I disagree with you that he's getting better because he's not getting better. Every metric that you use to define a fighter actually improving and getting better, he's not ticking off on any boxes, and he's not even knocking people out anymore. but he's
Yeah.
supposed to be a monster.
Well, you can't. Not everybody can be Tommy Hearns and knock everybody out at
I'm not
every
saying,
weight class.
but we're not talking about everybody. We're talking about a guy who people describe as a monster. We're not
Well, he
talking
looked
about
like-
everybody. If not for the no, I did not see a monster 2 weeks ago. That was a guy who won a fight. And because I'm not a hater, I picked him to win the fight. I picked him to win a points decision.
So
Because
did
you
I.
know why? You're in there with an 11-0 fighter who never fought a current or former champion. You should win. You won't knock him out. You won't, because you don't hit that hard. And that's what your own sparring partners have said about you. Vosdik said that about you before he fought you. Lonnie B said that about you. He sparred both you and Artur. And he said David Benavidez is not physically strong. He just throws a lot of punches, but he's not physically strong. This is not me making shit up. That's what they said, and I believe them. Because when I see you in there with an 11-0 prospect who's only ever been the 12-round distance, once? What was it, once?
Twice.
With Radovanje
Twice.
Kalajic? You should, dog, the least you could fucking do is beat a guy like that. That's the least you could do.
He got knocked down.
Well, again, the knockdown, the punch landed on the shoulder, so it's nothing to
matter.
do with Benavidez. Well, it's
It
nothing to
doesn't
do with
fucking
Benavidez's chin.
It's still a knockdown, bro.
It's still a knockdown, bro. Like because it's not. It doesn't stop being off a punch because the punch landed off the shoulder. And the reason that he was knocked down, the most damning thing, is that you were knocked down because of your shit feet. That's why you were knocked down. Because if your feet weren't out of position the way that they were, you wouldn't have got knocked down.
Shit, Morrell straightened
Yeah,
his
so-
legs out in that third round.
So Benavidez needs to improve. I agree with you. And
Yeah, but unless
I don't think.
All right, Kiwi. Unless something about his corner situation changes, right? Before I go smoke the cigarette, unless something about his corner situation changes, which I don't see any additions to his corner. What's gonna change if the corner don't change?
Well, I think Benavidez is in a better situation than Boots Ennis is with his dad, than Lopez is with his dad. I think Benavidez actually will improve. I mean, you don't spar Gennady Golovkin. I mean, Golovkin, we can talk about whether he lived up to the hype or not.
Yeah, sparring don't mean shit, dude.
Let me tell you something.
Well,
you know who? Let me tell you
okay.
something. Let me tell you one thing. You know who else sparred Gennady Golovkin? Former
Who?
unified cruiserweight champion Murat Gassiev. He sparred Gennady Golovkin. A lot of guys sparred Gennady Golovkin. At the end of the day, Gassiev was still the same limited, one-dimensional fighter when Usyk fought him. It didn't matter.
That's true.
It didn't
That's
matter. Benavidez literally fights now the way he did in 2017. It literally has not changed. He fights the same. It's all arm punches and volume. The only credit that I'll give him, and I wrestle giving him this, his defense looks a little better. And I mean by marginally better.
Barely. Yeah.
Marginally.
Well, Benavidez, he's not even fighting anyone right now. So is this what you want to make the show about, or?
No, I mean, it's because, look, I got like 4 super chats there. Every single one of them is about David Benavidez. I have to.
Well,
Jules, you
I'm
already.
a big believer in the monster.
Dude, I didn't move the goal. Like, you got to cut this weird ass shit out. All I told your ass is he is not fighting the winner of that fight. And you just trying to find different loopholes for it to mean something different. When I say he's not fighting the winner of that fight, that means he's not fighting the winner of that fight. He's not going to wait around for them either. Shout out to motherfucking Jerry. You already preparing an alibi to slow-mo. Bro, you crashing out sending me your money while you mad at me. You crashing out. How am I crashing out? You literally sending me your money. Fucking Jonathan said Jerry looked like a healthy Jesse Lee Peterson.
And he talks like a Farrakhan. That's
for real. Shout out to Domo. Motherfuckers was hitting Morrell with the power of Kirby.
Well, again, not everybody can carry their power up every division like Tommy Hearns.
Then everybody shouldn't be called the Mexican monster because you're not a monster. You're in a division with a monster, but you're not a monster. You're in the division with look.
Well,
in my country of Denmark, we write stories about guys like Better Beef, man. We sing fucking folk songs about this guy. We sit fucking naked in the forest and talk about how once we saw Artur Better Beef. I play the fucking guitar when I talk about this guy, all right? Like, Beterbiev is like legend shit. Benavidez is like Vanilla Ice. It's like, yeah, you was all right for like 10 seconds.
Well,
Benavidez, baby.
Well, we don't know if Benavidez will. We don't know how good he'll be. I mean, right now he's the guy.
He's 28, bro. Like, what the fuck?
Well,
He's 28.
hold on. Can I was just about to say.
Well, can you stop fucking making excuses?
I'm not making any excuses.
He's 28, bro. I'm just telling you that. Look, is it possible? Anything is possible. Of course, anything is possible. But unless there are major changes to the corner, in all likelihood, he's going to keep fighting the same way. Because Jose's still the one that trains him. That hasn't changed. So how is he going to have improved this or improved that if there's no change?
What's up with all these Benavidez fans coming from Australia and New Zealand?
He has no. You know what the thing is? He has a television. No, listen. He has a television show in New Zealand called Me and My Dad. It comes on Sundays.
Oh, come on.
It's a sitcom. It's a sitcom. Yeah.
I'm being fair to Benavidez. I'm not saying he's invincible. I'm not saying he'll rule the division or anything. I'm just giving him praise where it's due. He is the guy that Canelo's avoided, and now he's got to prove he's more than that.
Yeah, and listen, and I'll go as far as saying that if you want to stay on the Canelo train or stay on that same narrative.
I'm ready to move on.
I'm just saying that for those individuals, if the whole air around David Benavidez is Canelo didn't fight me, guess what? Artur doesn't care about that shit. Dimitri is the guy who beat Canelo. He already did what you're trying to do. You are small fucking potatoes compared to these guys. You are. Dimitri Bivol reigned as a champion since 2017. 9 consecutive title defenses. Brody, you don't hit harder than Joe Smith. And he took a clean shot from Joe Smith that I'm 100% sure would have sat you on your ass. You got dropped by Ronald Gavril, for God's sakes. Right?
Well,
none of this shit. What the Benavidez faction of fans hate about me is I don't have to lie. I'm literally just speaking facts. It's just facts. I'm not sure you beat Joe Smith. I'm not sure.
I think Benavidez beats everybody at 175 except I don't know about Beterbiev, and I don't.
Why?
I don't.
Who's asking?
Me. That's me. Can I ask why? Are you gonna say it's because of the Morel performance?
Because of his overall skills. Because of
what are they? He trips over his own feet.
What skills, by the way? What skills are those?
No. I want to point something out. So he goes into light heavyweight, right? He fights a light heavyweight. He looks bad.
Yeah.
Morel goes into light heavyweight. He fights a light heavyweight. He also looks bad. These are literally said to be the worst moments in their careers, the worst they have ever looked. And then you know what they do after? They both fight a 168-pounder and regain all of their cred back.
Exactly.
They have not fought a single good. They literally fought one good light heavyweight, and they both looked bad. And then they never fought another light heavyweight after that. And magically, they're the two greatest light heavyweights in the division.
Then this is what I'm saying.
No, I'm not
greatest
saying
branding of all time.
Listen,
I'm not
wait a
saying
minute.
you specifically.
But
like,
Kiwi, you literally said you think they beat everybody in the division based on what? Them fighting each other? They're both from 168.
I didn't finish the sentence. I said I think he beats all the contenders, except I'm not sure about Joshua Buatsi. I would probably favor Benavidez, but that is a tough fight. And now I would pick. Yeah, Callum Smith is not very good.
Oh, I don't know about
I
that.
Disagree,
no,
I disagree. Wait a minute. And this is why I disagree. Callum Smith's debut as a light heavyweight, he fought Lenin Castillo. Lenin had never been knocked out. He lost 1 or 2 fights, but he never been knocked out. Callum hits this guy so hard he causes him to have a seizure. That's how hard he hit him. That tells me that Callum's power at light heavyweight is a lot more bankable than David Benavidez is because he fought a veteran. He fought a vet who's been in there with people at 175, and he stopped him easy. David, you fought a 37-year-old quasi-retired Vazdik, and you didn't drop him. You didn't even hurt him.
Yeah,
you said it yourself. You said it yourself. He didn't look good in that fight.
Yeah, I wasn't crazy about the
Well,
Vosdick
let me
performance,
bring
but
up one point. Let me bring up one real quick point. When David fought Vosdick, it was Vosdick after the fact. If it would have been a prime Vosdick, I don't think he would have won that fight.
I agree. I agree.
we don't know. Maybe he would have lost, but
No, we
he
know.
looked
If
much.
it was a life and death fight and you didn't even hurt him as an old man, any younger, you don't beat him.
He's 37. How much older does he need to be so you can score a knockdown? How much older?
Hey,
Because he's
man.
37.
It's
45.
Keyshawn fight week, man.
Hold on.
What are we talking about David
Hold
again?
on, Jules. Canelo didn't stop Edgar Berlanga, who's
Canelo is not.
Oh,
Can I tell you something? Here's
got
here's what David Benavidez fans love to do. Why are you comparing a 6'3" guy who walks around at 200 and change, who's 28 years old, to a 5'7" guy who's in his mid-30s at his third or fourth weight?
But Canelo was able to drop him at 200 pounds.
It's not even that. If you want to bring up Canelo, Kiwi, how come Canelo could stop Caleb Plant but David didn't?
because Canelo was able to get away from Caleb Plant's holding, whereas Benavidez wasn't.
But
Benavidez
isn't
was
David?
trying to.
But is it my imagination, or is David not only bigger and younger than Canelo?
I never said he wasn't.
Then how come Canelo can break a clinch and put them together, but the Mexican monster cannot?
Because Canelo has better overall skills on the inside than Benavidez. Benavidez doesn't break the clinches and punch on the inside as good as Canelo
the
does.
more we talk about David,
Bro,
the less he seems like a monster.
That's what I'm
to
saying.
me.
Why are we talking about that?
It's Keyshawn fight
God
week,
damn.
bro. It's Keyshawn
I'm
fight
just
week.
answering
Let me
the
read the
question.
super chats. Outsiders come here. They are shook by the David Benavidez hate. Jules, you know better be failed drug testing. He did win. Rick has David pay-per-view numbers. Impressive subs. Yeah, I saw that. I'm doing a video on that.
70.
Lonnie B never comment how that's. Yes, he did. He literally spoke to Fight Hype, and I did a video about it. What the fuck are you talking about? Grow up, Jerry. He's literally seen the video I'm talking about. It's from Fight Hype. He said David Benavidez is not physically strong. That's not me making shit
What is
up.
that now? $12 for free? No,
Hey,
14.
keep it up. If there's a trilogy that counts as David Duck, yes, if you don't stick around to fight the winner of that fight, it's the same thing. You got the light heavyweight, 2 fights ago? Why would you leave now? Even if there is a trilogy, let's say there is one, it's not going to take long to make it. Why would you go off the cruiserweight then? Think about it. You've been here for 2 fights. 2, that's it. 2. And you're going to leave because they fight one more time? Seems to me you never wanted to stay because you've been talking about doing this since before you beat David Morrell. You've been talking about going to cruiserweight. And you only 2 fights into this campaign. Shout out to Will. A former 2-time champion on his second weight can improve. Okay, LOL. Whatever helps you sleep at night. Yeah, man. Jerry said, Jules, you're not a liar, a storyteller on your page. I don't know, bro.
I don't get it.
But Canelo, no mention of accountability. There can't be with David Benavidez, because if he were as good as these guys try to make him out to be, to me, there's no reason a smaller, shorter fighter at his third weight who ducked David should be knocking out people that David didn't knock out. It shouldn't happen if he's what y'all say he is. You can't reconcile it. HC said, why do you keep giving Canelo a pass? It's not about giving him a pass. It's that, what do you want me to do? He's fighting Skull.
We need to move on. We need to move on.
I have to address that question. What do you want me to do when Skull and Crawford are the guy he's fighting? What do you want me to do? Cry about it? Feel sorry for David? Yeah. I'm telling David, hey, bozo, move on. Y'all the ones that want to keep it on Canelo.
I agree. Benavidez should move on. That's why I'm saying.
Said, is there a lot of PBC or Benavidez promotion in Australia? I'm Mexican living in America, and I never noticed Benavidez until y'all started talking about him, Jules. All his fights are so uninteresting. I don't know what the fuck going on, yo.
I don't know why I've got this reputation of a Benavides fanboy. I'm just saying where he's good and where he's bad, where he needs to improve.
He's not even
That's all.
Australian.
My whole thing
Yeah,
is
I'm
that
from New Zealand.
I don't really understand what David did to warrant this kind of a reception. The only champion he ever took a belt from was Anthony Durrell, and Anthony only got a belt because he got stripped. This is the definition of mediocrity.
Yeah,
Congratulations, bro.
over.
You won. Congratulations, bro. You won your title back that you never should have lost dicking around. Congrats. It's ridiculous. Now I'm gonna smoke this fucking cigarette and I'll be right back.
Smoke too.
Fuck, can we stop talking about Benavides?
Yo, dead ass. This shit is.
Yeah, I
Damn.
agree. Let's
Yeah,
agree.
and
Let's
I
move
think
on.
the whole
bro.
reason we do is
You guys are
I
about to
think
hear
the
me
whole
start
reason we do
snoring
is because
again.
the Benavides fans show up and start trying to, ask too many questions
They
about it.
hijacked the
Yeah,
fucking live.
can we
It's
stop
irritating.
talking about a guy that only did 70,000 pay-per-view buys? Come
Like, I
on.
want to time Jerry out, but I don't want to fuck with Jules' money either. It's like, Jesus
Well, I'm-
Christ, that dude.
Yeah, I'm.
Fucking irritating, man. It's like, shut the fuck up already.
Yeah. Shit.
Well,
Okay.
Don't worry, he'll give Jules money anyway.
Shit,
I'm ready to
anyways,
move on.
who y'all got this
Keyshawn
Friday?
Fight Week.
Keyshawn by late
I want to pick
stoppage.
You got
Keyshawn.
Keyshawn? Bro,
Keyshawn late stoppage.
I want to go with Keyshawn too, but I think Dennis got something
Nah.
up his sleeve too, bro. You
I'll
don't?
pick Keyshawn decision. I don't think
Keyshawn
Dennis Berinchik
decision?
hits hard enough. I don't think Dennis Berinchik
Okay.
hits hard enough. I think Keyshawn Davis, if you can catch him with a counter, I don't think his chin is that good, but I don't think Dennis Berinchik hits that hard. I think he's got some little good shifts in there, and on the inside he's very tricky. But if the
Yeah.
fight never really makes it to the inside, I think that's going to be a big problem for him.
Rantic just has a really good movement. I'll say
Yeah,
that.
that was I was about to ask, how's his footwork?
It's really
very good.
He pivots
It's
well,
very good.
shifts. It's very nice.
But Keyshawn's a young guy, so yeah,
Yeah.
he should win. I'm picking him to win. I don't like that. Apparently, he's talking about maybe getting some fights to build his name up after he becomes champion, rather
Oh
than
yeah,
rushing to fight the other champions. And
He said that.
yeah. He talked about
I
an
heard it
Isaac
from-
Cruz fight,
He
man.
also said he was just going to unify once and then move up and wait.
It's
I
because
don't
there's
like
no one
that.
else to unify with for him. It would only be the IBF champion.
But honestly, my question is, he moves up to 40. Who is he going to make a star-making performance against at 40?
I hope he.
I mean,
beats-
that's not hard to do. That's
Tio.
not hard to do. 40 is gonna need it's gonna need his energy. I'm gonna be honest, because
Tio.
Tio's not gonna be there for too long. Hitchens is. I think Hitchens is gonna lose his belt to Matias, and then after that, I mean, if you make a
No.
Keyshawn Matias fight, that shit would be electric.
I think Hitchens beats Matias, bro. I hate to say
Really?
it. Yeah, I hate to say it, bro. Because he,
You
why?
think he can stand up to his punches?
because we know how Hitchens is, bro. He's gonna move all night, and Matias, that motherfucker ain't got no feet. He's like David
Can I
Benavides.
just make
Yeah,
an
but then
observation, bro?
let's look
Hitchens
at it
don't
the
move
other
that
way,
much.
though. Let's look at it the other way. Who has Hitchens fought that even fights like Matias that you can legitimately say
Lemos.
he outboxed him? Lemos is a smaller guy.
Yeah, I know
Right.
Lemos, but he didn't
Right.
look good. That's what I mean. He looked pretty horrible that fight.
Well, Matias, talk about looking horrible. Matias looked just so lackluster against Liam Parrow. I mean, that was his chance
Gosh,
to
that was
become a
odd,
big
man.
star, and he was getting outboxed very simply, and he had no urgency. So I think William Hitchens probably wins that fight. I don't think.
Nah, Hitchens isn't active enough. That's the thing. When
Yeah.
Liam Parro fought Matias, he kept his hands moving constantly and just kept fit. I don't see Hitchens as that much of a physical guy. That's
Yeah,
really what it
Hitchens
comes
is
down
not
to.
going to stand in the pocket and exchange with him in order to get the best of him. He's going to stick and move all night. That's all he's going to want to do. He's
I
not
think
going to
people
want to sit
forget,
there and
like,
exchange.
Liam Parro is like a very strong, like physical dude. Like when he goes into, even when he fought Hitchens, he won a decent amount of rounds off of him, which I was surprised. But it was straight up off of just being a very physical and active guy, which Hitchens is not.
Yeah.
In fact, if he
Yeah,
was
he's
the
very
elite
durable.
boxer we were all talking about, that wouldn't have been a somewhere close fight. He would have just dominated him from start to finish.
Well, I
So
think the big
I don't really
danger
want.
is where if Matias gets Hitchens in the corner, man. I think that's the big danger because if he ends up in the corner, man, he could get hit, and then next thing you know, good night.
Well, I don't want to see Keyshawn. I think he definitely beats Brunchik. I mean, Brunchik's like, what, 36, 37? I just don't want to see him move up to fight guys like Matias just yet. Why not stay at lightweight where, I mean, not enough is happening in that division. So,
I mean,
I think
you know why he's going to leave, bro. He can't get a fight with Tank, and you know who he's not going to fight. So,
yeah. Well,
so get the one unification with probably Raymond Murataya. Oh, it's a cool fight. Star-making performance. Leave. Well, maybe star-making performance. He might just get knocked the fuck out. But go up to 40 and hopefully do it again.
yeah. Well, I don't think Matias is going to do. I mean, if you're in your hometown, which he was against Paro, you're getting outboxed and you don't show urgency. I understand what you're saying, that Liam Paro was strong and he was fainting a lot, but it's hard for me to pick Matias against any of the top guys right now. I mean, I think Lopez probably beats him, and I think, well, I don't know about Haney, but Haney is pretty much out of that division. So, yeah, it's a bit of a weird one.
I only put a question mark on Lopez because of how he did look with Claggett, where it was like, you did win, but he was able to land on you a lot. And
but you struggled against a club fighter. He's wasn't an elite guy.
Honest to God, yeah. Like, if you're going to put that Claggett fight in proper context, Steve Claggett is a Canadian club fighter. He's the equivalent of a domestic level Canadian club fighter. Lopez should have chewed him up and spat him out. I looked at that fight as confirmation of what I always thought. There are videos where I already said it. You're going to get to 140 and you're going to struggle because your whole thing was that you were a beefy 135. That was your whole thing, that you could punch down there. But you go to 40, you won't be able to punch the same. You ain't going to be able to get guys out of there the way you used to. And to date, the only guy at 40 that he got out was Campas. That's it.
Not really, but yeah.
Yeah, right. You know.
Yeah. Well, I think the reason Lopez, and now I understand people think I'm a Benavidez defender. Now I'll probably get seen as a Lopez defender. I think he looked bad in that fight because, like Mike Tyson, he overlooked this guy who he was supposed to run through. So
some
I think
he just boiled down to skill. Like something. Look at this.
Well, Lopez is skilled.
He has some. Look at this Junto Nakatani kid, staying in character across 3 divisions. These are the guys that don't get talked about. Look at Kazuto Ioka. He's fucking old for a fucking super flyweight. He is fucking old, but he's still out here doing his thing. You know what I mean? These are the guys that don't get talked about. Whereas Benavidez, you were there at super middleweight in what was a loaded super middleweight division, by the way, that people wouldn't talk about those wins over Caleb and Callum and Billy and John Ryder. They wouldn't talk about them that way if they were on David's resume. They only shit on them because they're on Canelo's. If they were on David's resume, they think he's the fucking second coming of Jesus Christ. There's nothing impressive about David Benavidez or his resume. It's one of the most manufactured buzzes. The only guy more manufactured than David to me is either Gervonta Davis or Deontay Wilder, because they're all cut from the same cloth.
Really?
They're all cut from what? Who did he beat? That I should fall out of this chair that I'm on?
I'm not saying you should fall out of your chair. I'm just saying Benavidez's resume is much better than Tank Davis and Deontay Wilder.
No, it's not.
I wouldn't go that far.
No,
I would not go that far.
Can I say this?
Listen, there's nobody in this solar system. Forget about your little blue dot in space. There is no one
that was a low blow.
This solar system as unimpressed by Gervonta Davis as me, right? And even I have to acquiesce that his win over Jose Pedraza is better than anything on David Benavidez's resume.
Really?
Jose Pedraza, Anthony Durrell.
Well,
yeah.
I'm not saying the Durrell fight was that good. Durrell was a paper champion, and Benavidez beat a paper champion who was old. So
So name me another reigning world champion that David Benavidez beat.
He didn't beat Caleb Plant when he was world champion, but he had just been world champion.
No, he hadn't. There's literally a year in between the time Canelo, the fraud, the scared guy. There's literally a year in
He is
between the
scared.
time Canelo. Okay, cool. The scared guy who's afraid scored a knockout and left Caleb slumped on the ropes, and David decisioned him.
Shout outs to Clivo, by the way, in the chat. He and I disagree a lot. Demetrius Andrade was, got to pick these words carefully. He is not Demetrius Andrade is not an elite champion, but he was a very good contender. So therefore, that was a very good win.
No, he wasn't.
No,
he got
he's
knocked out.
another
No,
paper champion.
no, that's
His
another
only-
thing. No. He's not a good contender. You went in there with a journeyman that Edgar Berlanga handled easier than you. Remember Andre's first fight at the weight? What's the guy's name, Ignacio?
Desmond Nichols.
Rolls?
De-
Oh no, Desmond Nicholson. Yeah.
Edgar Berlanga beat him easy. He didn't get knocked down. You know who did? Demetrius Andrade.
That's true, but it was still Demetrius Andrade. I'm not saying he was an elite contender. and I'm
No,
not,
there's
I
no
don't think-
substance. There has never been any substance to the notion that Demetrius Andrade was a good boxer. And I know where it all started. It started
He
with
was
his
a good-
amateur. No. It started with his amateur career because out of the amateurs, he was an Olympian and he was a blue chip prospect. But he never once lived up to the expectations set before him. He struggled.
I
with
agree.
Jack, he struggled with Jack Colquet at 154.
I agree.
You got rocked, but
Andrade,
you fight Liam Williams, and it's a full-on fucking fight, man. It is a bar fight. Fucking Chris Eubank Jr. goes in there with that same Liam Williams, beats him easy, knocks him down more times than you. Chris Eubank.
Well, I'm not saying that Andrade was this boogeyman. I criticize.
I know
Andrade
you're
for
not.
fucking-
I know you're not. I'm sticking to the subject, though. Understand? I'm just saying that there has never been any substance to the argument that Demetrius Andrade is above average. There's
Well,
no.
I'm giving you some substance to David Benavidez having a very good resume as a contender. He's not a champion yet, but he's going to be. Well, he already is a very good contender, and I think his resume proves that.
I don't. The win that
Okay.
everybody's gushing about is a win over a 168 pounder like yourself. That's
not
why I'm
gushing
is,
over it.
is that not in a very general sense? There are people that are taking this David Morrell win and jumping off a cliff with it, and I don't understand why, because it's a guy with 11 fights who moved up from 168 just like you. What the fuck does that mean at 175? What the
Well,
fuck did David Morrell do at 175 besides look bang average with Radavalle?
Yeah, he didn't look like a world beater at 175, but neither did a lot of the contenders that Bivol and Batuviev have beaten, because 175 is
That's
weak.
not true. That's not true. Joe
Callum
Smith,
Smith
Jr.
didn't-
Joe Smith Jr. took the same Eleider Alvarez that Sergey Kovalev struggled with, and he wiped his fucking ass with him. I remember that
Yeah,
fight. It was in the bubble.
I was talking about guys like Marcus Brown, guys like Callum Smith, the guy who stepped in. I can't remember his name, but the guy who
You,
stepped
you
in. to
can't
fight-
you can't keep saying Callum Smith is not a good fighter when his debut at light heavyweight he scored a knockout of the year candidate. He sent the guy to a seizure. Why didn't David Benavidez do that? I thought he was a monster.
Because Benavidez is fighting better competition.
I disagree. You fought a 37-year-old quasi-retired Vosdik that had been knocked out before.
But Vosdik was a lot better than anyone Callum Smith beat.
Based on his past resume, not his current resume.
Yeah. He fought 2 layups en route to the Benavidez fight. 2 layups.
3 layups, Jules. He fought 3 layups prior to the Benavidez fight.
There's no just like if I take away all the fanboy shit, and this is what I normally do. I'm like, I don't know what you guys are high on. I don't know. I literally don't know.
Well, again, I'm not saying that Benavidez is going to be a world beater at 175. I don't know yet. He needs to prove it. I'm just saying
But
as
the
a
problem
contender,
is, listen, the problem is you're not talking about a young fighter who's starting out. You're talking about a guy who won his first alphabet title a long time ago in 2017. He's got 30 fights, 28 years old, 30 fights in his second weight class. Please tell me, what is his best win?
either Andrade or Morrell, one of the undefeated guys.
Okay, then that's not saying much. Not
Well,
30 fights, bro. 30 fights. You
Early-
know how many fights he knew he
Jules,
has? You know how many fights he
Jules.
knew he has? 24.
Well, in a Inoue, for me, is the second best fighter of this era behind Usyk.
Inoue is a Japanese fucking god. He's Godzilla if he were a singularity.
Okay.
And
Okay.
Inoue,
Yeah,
Inoue is Inoue is one of my
right.
favorites ever.
Okay.
I love Inoue, but
I am so
Benavidez-
tired of Western mediocre fighters in the West getting all this adulation for being bang average. It's one of the most nauseating things that happens in this part of the world.
Hey, Jules.
Benavidez is ordinary.
Hey, Jules, I got a question, bro.
Go ahead, bro.
To change subject because I'm tired of fucking talking about David.
No, I like beating on him like this. I like
Bro,
shitting on him like
that
this.
shit's annoying.
It
Fuck.
feels. Listen, a little bit of cum comes out every time I
was only-
station a hard fat. A harsh.
I was only answering
Okay.
Jules. I was only answering your questions. I'm happy to move on.
Okay,
All right,
let's move on. Okay, why do you think Marquez hates Canelo so much, bro? Like that shit.
Tú sabes lo que it's not just
I
the
don't
boxing
know.
shit. No, espera. It's not just the boxing shit. También se tiene que decir that Canelo, he's got the fair skin, red hair thing going on. Y Marquez sabe that it makes him more marketable and more appealing. I've always felt, Marquez, the real reason you hate this kid is because he's a handsome kid. You know that. They could sell him better than they could sell you. And that's why you resent him. You act like he had it easy. But is it easy to be a professional boxer at age 15? I don't think so. I don't think it's easy to be a redhead in Mexico.
But is that impressive
personally.
though?
I think it is. Being a
No,
professional
like
boxer.
what's it called? Isn't that like a lot of people and like a lot of fighters in Mexico though?
Not that it's impressive, but no. Actually, I take that back. I think it is impressive because not every fighter in Mexico that starts out at age 15 gets to this point.
But for him, it's like he's just like, yo, I watched a lot of dudes that I was growing up with that I was fighting with do the same thing.
Yeah, but did they go on to be Canelo?
No, but they probably went on to be legend. Well, like maybe. Like, what do you mean Canelo when you say that?
That's what makes it some hater shit. In other words, that people have a problem acknowledging that Canelo is a good fighter. He is very accomplished. He literally is one of the best fighters that Mexico ever produced. People have a problem saying that. And I didn't always like Canelo. I always tell this story. I didn't always like him. He convinced me. When he went in there with Jacobs, slipping, rolling, bobbing, and weaving, and handling, yeah, this kid's for real. He's for real. He deserves his plaudits. He's for real.
Jules, the only reason that Marquez, besides the whole, you saying that he doesn't like the fact that he's more marketable. Let's be honest, Marquez has been out of shape more than anything because he's looked at as the third musketeer from that generation of guys between him, Barrera, and Morales. That's what it is.
Morales and Barrera are more endeared and more revered than Marquez ever was. It's just the truth.
Imagine if Marquez didn't have that Pacquiao knockout, bro.
They'd forget about him, bro.
Yeah, and even
I don't know
Barrera,
about that, man.
Nah,
even
they
Barrera,
won't. Come on,
bro. He lost to Tim Bradley, which is not. I mean, okay, but it's Tim
you
Bradley.
didn't have to say Tim Bradley like that. Bro.
I mean, a lot of people lost to Tim Bradley, bro.
he lost to
The only person
Vaughn.
I didn't
Yeah,
lose to
like
Tim
Devon
Bradley was Pacquiao.
Alexander. Like a lot of guys. Like my thing is this: that he's got middle child syndrome. Marsha. Like that's what he's got going on. Canelo.
Bro,
You were
even
always wait. Juan Manuel Marquez is the Mexican Andre Ward. You always
Nah.
yes,
stop it, bro. That's
bro.
disrespectful.
On some hating
disrespectful.
shit. On some hating shit.
That's
Yes.
disrespectful,
as a
bro.
hater, yes. As a hater, yes.
I don't
On
know
some
about
hating
Can I give
shit.
you my-
Yes.
Well, Andre Ward, he was criticized routinely throughout his career, and a lot of it was unfair. So I think he's just dishing out what he's used to. And Marquez, I mean, he was always super bitter about every Pacquiao fight until the one he had some reason to be upset, but not every. But he also thought he got robbed.
If you're being overshadowed, you're being overshadowed by your contemporaries, and that's really what your problem was. You were in the shadow of Eric. You were in the shadow of Marco. Andre was in the shadow of Floyd Mayweather. When Andre was doing his best work in the super middleweight division, I can tell you that Americans were not watching that division because it was viewed as a Euro division, and who all of us were focused on at the time was Manny and Floyd. He was in their shadow. So I know that he feels that he never got the press and the plaudits that he deserved for being America's last male gold medalist, before unifying the super middleweight division. That's why he hated Gennady Golovkin. That's why he was hating on Anthony Joshua. That's why he hates on Canelo. He don't like nobody that achieves a level of popularity. Especially, he actually used to like Canelo in 2015 and 2018. He liked Canelo. You could go back and see those videos. He used to praise him over Gennady Golovkin. But as soon as Canelo set one toe in the super middleweight division, where most of his legacy was, that's when he turned against him, because now he feels he's in Canelo's shadow. Canelo did something you didn't do, but you had the opportunity to do 2 separate times. He was the first undisputed champion in the 4-belt era. You could have did that. You should have fucking... What's this fucking guy he didn't fight, y'all? Bute.
Lucien Bute. Yeah, didn't want to go to Canada.
Yeah. Waters definitely hypocritical, and Marquez, he acted like the loss to Timothy Bradley was a worse robbery than the Pacquiao fights, and it wasn't. I mean, he legitimately lost that fight. So Marquez is just a bit of a bitter guy in general, but he's not the only guy who's critical of Canelo. I mean, didn't Morales criticize him at one point, and didn't Barrera say?
I think a lot of guys. I think personally, you could look at any Canelo archetype fighter. You could look at Floyd before him. He has a resume that you could pick apart for different reasons. Any fighter like this has you could go back to Sugar Ray Leonard. We had this conversation the other day, me and Ray, about how you can pick apart his win over Hagler. You can do this to anyone, because none of these fighters are perfect. What you guys are looking for must be Muhammad Ali or something. And there's only one Ali. There's only one Ali. I'm just saying that there's only one Ali. Nobody's resume is picture perfect. I'm sorry. No, it's not. I'm sorry, it's not.
Every great fighter has holes in their resume.
So when I see this with Canelo, and I'm 42 years old, I just see the same thing in a different generation. It's just the same thing. People complaining about the same thing when what you're looking for doesn't exist. It doesn't exist. Sorry.
I guess Duran's resume you can't really question.
No, but there are blemishes there, right? I mean, you lost to De Jesus. That was your first loss. You lost
guy who became champion right after.
I know, but you lost to De Jesus. That's a blemish. You lost the rematch to Hagler because fucking Hagler, Leonard, because you got fucking fat, sniffing and fucking and getting fucking fat.
And then you got smoked by Tommy Hearns.
You got knocked the fuck out by Tommy Hearns, dog.
Then Duran beats the guy who knocked out Hearns, and Duran's one of my all-time favorites. I think he's the greatest of the four kings.
Bro, Duran is one of my favorites. My point is that nobody is perfect. Nobody
I agree.
But when I say pick apart the resume, I mean, like, you can't go to Duran's resume and be like, you see, he fought that guy at the wrong time, or he waited till that guy did this.
No, the criticism will be different, but there will be criticism.
So, yeah, the biggest criticism I have of Duran is he hung around way too long. Yeah, he should have stopped at 160 and not kept going up.
Look at Roy. If Roy's dumbass would have just called it a career after the jump. No, let's do this.
That's not pretend that Roy wasn't fraudulent for other reasons.
Look, I think Roy was on Peds too, if you want my honest opinion. I think a lot of guys are.
Oh, I'm talking the light heavyweight run.
Oh, that's a different story. All I'm saying is, you could take a guy like Roy, if he retires after the John Ruiz fight, right? Retires heavyweight champion, does something. Bro, how many fucking junior middleweights do you think could go to heavyweight right now? None, right? He fucking did that. He'd probably be regarded as the best pound-for-pound fighter that ever did it next to Sugar Ray Robinson. But that's just not how shit happens, bro. Nobody's perfect.
Yeah, I agree. I'm part of the crew that criticized Floyd because he called himself TBE for many years, but he didn't really avoid he's not the reason that all the big fights didn't happen. I mean, Pacquiao, we can blame him for not taking drug tests. It's just when you call yourself TBE, you invite more criticism, but every fighter has at some point not fought a guy that the world wanted him to fight. So
there you go. Because look, he didn't fight Amir Khan, and he didn't fight
Paul Williams.
Spadafora. He didn't fight
Didn't
Paul
fight
Williams. There's an
What's it
argument
called?
that you should have fought
Arboreto.
Lara. There's also an argument you should have fought Lara because when you had the WBA from 154, Lara, I think, was either the interim or the regular, one of them. He was there. There are guys that Floyd didn't fight, and it's always going to be this way. All the way back to Sugar Ray Robinson not fighting Charlie Burley. This is the story
Yes.
generation after generation after generation. It's the same story because nobody fights everybody. That shit, the only guy that came close to doing that or did that was Ali. That's about it.
Yeah, I can't find a fighter that Ali tried to age out or anything. I mean, that's what killed him because he got Parkinson's syndrome so badly because of who he fought. But yeah, I think the reason why some fighters get criticized more is how much they are praised by some people. I mean, Floyd was beloved by his fans, like the greatest thing on earth. So he was criticized by the critics out there because, again, of the TBE stuff. Canelo, maybe it's because he was seen as overly privileged and didn't really have to earn the mantle of being the cash cow. But
that's the thing. I watched this kid's rise. To say that a guy that goes in there with fucking Lara, who nobody even wanted, think about this for a second. He fought Prime Lara, irrespective of what you think about the fight. He fought Prime Lara. Andre never fought Lara. The Charlos never fought Lara. It was a conversation for a while, but it never happened. You know who fought him? Canelo fought him. He fought an unbeaten Austin Trout. That was a hot potato at the time. Slick boxer, unbeaten. He fought him. Don't tell me he didn't earn it.
Cotto.
Exactly.
Yeah, Canelo deserves a lot of credit for fights that he has taken. He just, again, people like me criticize certain things he's done, but it's not the worst we've seen.
My thing is that there's no criticism. There's no criticism that anyone can levy towards Canelo that I can't turn right around and levy towards somebody else. Right down to the clenbuterol. Do I think he took clenbuterol as a weight cutter? Absolutely. The same way I think Roy was on PEDs in 2001 when both him and his opponent tested positive for a PED.
Was that
Same
the Virgil
way.
Hill fight that they both tested positive?
Something Michael Hall or something like that. Both
Richard Hall.
They both tested positive for the same PED. And listen, I don't got to get into a long explanation. I think you're on the sauce, Roy. I do. I think a lot of guys are, frankly. So when Canelo's on the sauce, if he was taking a diuretic or whatever it was to fluctuate, because remember, he was fluctuating in weight a lot. He went from 154 to Liam Smith up to 164 for Chavez, then back down to 60 for Golovkin. Yeah, you probably were on some kind of a diuretic because you're moving up and down the weight crazy.
Yeah, I agree. And it took me years to realize that one of the first superstars to get accused of PEDs was Sugar Ray Leonard, and that came from Tommy Hearns before the rematch. So
yeah,
never know who.
It's not as pristine as I don't romanticize it. In other words, I take it for what it is. I don't romanticize any of it, but because of that, it's a little hard for me to sit. Yeah, let me be mad at Canelo for what, David? There is a legacy fight right in front of you. Whether I agree with your critics or not, the reality is you're not getting Canelo this year. It is just a fact. You're not. But if you push, you can get the winner of that fight. And all we hear you and your fans talk about is Canelo.
And that's
hold on. Now think about it. Like, I hear this history of ducking that Canelo has. So, okay, David, fine. We'll say that. After that, what are we going to say? Andre, he sucks. Charlo, he fucking sucks.
They suck.
Well, I don't think he avoided, and some fighters did avoid Andrade, but Andrade's also ducked other fighters. So
yeah, oh my god, that list is long.
So I don't hold Andrade up as this boogeyman. I felt that Canelo, in my opinion, should have fought Golovkin sooner than he did.
I agree with that.
He shouldn't have fought Liam Smith and Namir Khan.
But here's why I give him grace, Kiwi. It took us 5 years. Whoever the fuck is in their kitchen eating, why would we want to hear that?
Sorry, guys, it's my dog.
I was just answering the man.
Now, here's why I give him grace, Kiwi. It took us 5 years to get Mayweather versus Pacquiao. That took 5 years. It took us 5 more years to get Crawford versus Spence, right? It only took us 1 year to get Canelo versus Golovkin. From the moment that he beats Cotto, right? Beats Cotto, bunch of bullshit in between. It was only a year, bro. A year and a half.
Yeah, no, I agree. I don't think Canelo has done again stuff that we haven't seen from stars before, much greater fighters. I think that's the Golovkin thing is what people hold against him. When he was around 21, 22, there were bigger fights he could have taken, but like any young guy, like Benavidez early on in his career when he was first world champion and got dropped by Ronald Gavril, Canelo was a little bit choosy early on, so that's normal. It's just when he was in his prime, we had the Golovkin fast. Then past his prime, we got Benavidez. I think that's why people hold it against him.
I disagree because the prime version of Canelo, I saw Canelo's whole career. I would say the prime version of Canelo is in between 2019 and 2021. That is prime Canelo. Everything after that, he's on the slide.
Okay, that's a.
But not only that, Kiwi, like Joel said, at 23, 24 years old, he's fighting Austin Trout and Erislandy Lara.
Yeah.
You can't say none of these other dudes fought guys on that level at that age.
They weren't. They weren't taking like you got a southpaw, a mover, a boxer, and Lara, bro. They're not putting no. And what's worse is that I still got to hear about Andre and shit like that, right? Not from you per se, but from other people. It's like, can somebody tell me what the fuck Andre did or who he beat that we still talking about this man?
Well,
what did he do?
Well, here's the thing. Andrade is a guy who I wish Canelo or Golovkin fought, but these people who support Andrade and they're just fanboys, they don't call out Andrade for ducking Jamel Charlo, for ducking Janibek, for ducking other fights he's had in his career or didn't have in his career when he was world champion. Like, he got stripped because of inactivity. These fans don't call that out. So Andrade was a better opponent for Canelo than James Kirkland, and he was a better opponent for Golovkin than, but just to finish the point, he was a better opponent for Golovkin than Vanes Martirosyan. But these fans, they just praise Andrade relentlessly and they ignore his ducking. So it goes both ways.
It's like the Mayweather thing. Amir Khan at that time was viewed as a better opponent than Marcos Maidana. He was viewed as that. But it's like, bro, the shit you want out of these boxes, it ain't gonna happen. You want like a round robin where one guy fights everybody. Meanwhile, the guy that you're putting on a pedestal isn't even fucking doing anything. What the
exactly.
fuck? What is he
I don't know if
doing?
you can use that for the Amir Khan situation. I mean, Amir Khan quite literally beat Marcos Maidana.
Not that. I'm saying that about Andre.
The amount of people that came to that guy's defense was crippling. It was like, it made me feel like, who's watching boxing? Like, are these people actually watching the sport? And it's great that you brought up that one guy, Ego, because I remember at the time when I started watching YouTube channels, he was praising this guy, calling Canelo the biggest duck, saying that Canelo was afraid of this man. And the guy was nothing more than the best of a group of C-level fighters. He was like the king of the C-level fighters. And that was it. Because who dropped him? Damon Nicholson? Or who dropped him?
Damon Nicholson dropped him. Alantez Fox dropped him. He struggled with Jack Coquette. It's like, bro, like, what are we even doing?
Why are we doing this? Why are we hyping this guy up?
He made a title defense against Jason Quigley.
The incomparable Luke Keeler.
Yeah.
Not only that, he fought Jason Quigley instead of Janibek, and when the time came,
he ducked Janibek. That's right.
Exactly, and I call out both sides. But Jules, what you mentioned earlier about fighters in the West getting praised for having big mouths and promoting themselves and having a lot of attention, and these YouTube channels that are just fanboys, it's one of the biggest problems I have in the sport, which is why I started my channel. But I'm completely with you. Alexander Usyk is the best fighter of this era, and because he fights in Europe, he doesn't get the praise he deserves. It is what it is. Now, in a way, a lot of the criticism he gets from America is ridiculous. They want him to come over and fight their protected son, Gervonta, but they don't want Gervonta to fight anybody. It's ridiculous. But yeah, you can criticize Canelo for some things, and I do plenty of it, but it doesn't mean he hasn't had good fights in his career, and it doesn't mean, because Andrade, I think he could have been better than he was. But
honestly, bro, when you think about the fights that he turned down, and when he turned them down, you know that he didn't want to fight. He didn't want to fight Jermel at 154. Didn't want to fight Derevyanchenko at 60. Didn't want to fight Korobov. I don't want to fight Jacobs. That's my friend. Laura's boring. That's a last resort.
Ducks Felix Cash.
All that tells me is, you know what would have happened? If you would have fought some of these guys, you would have fucking lost a long time ago. After a while, it's a fucking pattern. Like, okay. But all this? Nah, homie, like, this is a pattern now that you don't want to fight anybody that's solid, basically, so that by the time he does fight Benavidez, well, what were your options, bro? What the fuck were you? What else were you gonna do? You didn't have a choice.
And then he hides behind the inactivity excuse when it was his decision to be inactive. So I'm not defending Andrade there. And I mean, the guy who at middleweight who most blatantly ducked him was Billy Joe Saunders, who for me is just awful. I think Saunders is one of the worst fighters of this era.
I'll say this. Did Billy fuck it up? Yeah, because he tested positive for the nose shit, whatever that shit was. But even Billy, he's got a win over Eubank, a win over Andy Lee, a win over Lemieux. I look at that and I'm like, you know that's actually better than most of what's on.
You said a win over Eubank, bro.
But Billy, just to finish
look, I'm saying. Show me what's on Andre's resume that's better.
Well,
look, I know you're going to hate this.
Saunders was offered the Andrade fight after he failed the drug test, and he ducked
and he turned it down. He did. He turned it down again.
But yeah, what's it called? I would rate Von as Martirosyan over Eubank, honestly.
No, I think because I think Eubank would knock him out. He knocked out didn't he beat the shit out of Arthur Abraham at 68?
An old, decrepit Arthur Abraham. The shades of Arthur Abraham. If Arthur Abraham could have died right before that fight, he probably would have, bro. That's how bad that Arthur Abraham was.
Just saying,
that was Arthur Abraham in a dream, bro.
It was Abraham Lincoln, bro.
it was ancient.
Shout out to HC. That is the perfect example of giving Canelo a pass. Should David move on? Yes. However, Canelo has a history of ducking fights, and his fans always make excuses. If it's wrong for Tank and Fury to do it, no, you just want to stay talking about the same fucking shit because you don't want David to fight them people. You sitting here sending me money, and I appreciate that, but arguing with me is not going to change that Skull is next and Terrence comes after that. So, David, what are you going to do? More podcasts talking about Canelo? More interviews talking about Canelo? There's an opportunity right in front of you. And the more your fans keep bringing up Canelo to me, the more I realize y'all don't want him to fight the winner of that fight.
Can I add something to that? Because one of the guys who, in my opinion, gets pushed more than Andrade was Jamal Charlo. And I think Jamal Charlo would have been a good challenge for Canelo. But Jamal Charlo blatantly ducked Andrade. He was offered the fight and he hid behind his daddy, Al Heyman. And Jamal Charlo also, when he was on a 2-year layoff, he talked a lot of smack about David Benavidez, but he didn't want that smoke. Yeah. So Jamal Charlo was worse than Andrade, and he was propped up by the Americans who don't call him out on this because he's their boy. So it's terrible.
And it's the same.
It's double standard.
No, but listen, it's the same story. And you may not see this, but it's the same with David. What the fuck are we? What?
I disagree. You
didn't do it.
Disagree.
It's the same shit, bro.
You understand that he won a title. He won his first title in 2017. That's a long fucking time ago.
Well, Jules, the reason I agree with you, he didn't unify when he became champion. But when Canelo was that age, he didn't unify either. So now he's Brody, fighting
no
top guys.
When Canelo was that age now. When Canelo was that age, he's in there with Lara and Trout and Mayweather. When Canelo's that age, by age 27, literally younger than David is now, he's been in there with Lara, Trout, Mayweather, Cotto, Golovkin. all by age 27. David, what's your best win again? David Morrell.
Wasn't he lineal twice or something by that time?
I'm trying to tell you.
Yeah, he was really already.
I'm just saying, like, yes, Canelo deserves credit for his earlier wins. I agree with that, but he didn't unify with other champions when he was that age either. Benavidez is trying to do that now, and I agree.
Was it the Trout fighter unification match?
And not really. The
other difference here is that Canelo was under pressure to fight a lot of these people back then. David is under no pressure to fight anyone. Nobody is pressuring him to fight shit. He's never the only guy he was pressured to fight when he had a belt was maybe Caleb Plant and people just because people wanted to see that fight.
And then he waits until Canelo knocks him out before he fights him.
But nobody was putting who's hating on David and pressuring him to fight anyone in the mainstream. Like
no one, because they made up their mind. No, they made up their minds that it's Canelo or nobody. Basically, that's the attitude they have, that it's Canelo or nobody.
Yeah.
And then you got these guys that they say, "Oh, you're giving Canelo a pass." Dog, I don't control Canelo, bro. I don't call it, yo, Canelo, do this. No, bro. I'm telling you reality. Skull is next. Crawford is after that. David, what you about to do? Jerk off for a fucking year crying about Canelo? Do something with yourself.
That's not gonna happen.
Seriously, like there are guys who are quote unquote contenders in the division that he could be fighting in the meantime, but he's not.
No,
he won't.
Why risk it?
Why risk anything when you can move up to cruiser and have a relatively
No. Let's stop lying to ourselves, bro. That fight is just as hard, if not harder, than fighting Bivol or Beterbiev. The only reason why I hate it is because it's the way that he's going about it. If he wasn't being a bitch about it and clout chasing two other guys, I'd be like, you know what? Cool. If he straight up just said, look, I don't want to fight at light heavyweight after this. I'm going up to fight Zero. It's a much better fight. It's a much more fun fight. It's a much more financially better fight because he's British. My bad. Because he's Mexican and Turkey would also probably still be willing to pay for it. I'd be like, yo, fuck it, cool.
I don't think
Why not?
he sees it.
I don't think it's a bad fight, but I'm with you, Don. He only wants it because he thinks it's easy.
He sees it that way. He sees it as a viable option for him to win that fight, a better option than fighting the winner of Bivol and better. He knows he's not going to beat those guys. He already knows it. It's cemented. He knows it. Exactly. He thinks he's got a chance with Zerto. He thinks he does.
I mean, think about it. Look at the guy you're going after over undisputed. The guy that Bivol beat. The guy that Bivol beat comprehensively, by the way. I don't know that Zerto won a fucking round in that fight, right? But this is the guy that you're going to pass up undisputed. I thought you wanted legacy, David. I thought it wasn't about the money. That's what you tell the media. It's not about the money. But go ahead, man.
Well, again, we will see if Benavidez is all talk or I'm not going to defend him if he doesn't take the winner of Bivol Beterbiev. We disagree a little bit on Canelo, but there's no question Canelo deserves praise for what he's done in the past. It's just that he's done a lot of things lately which deserve criticism. But I'll be the first to say we should move on from the Benavidez fight because it's never
you
going to
should
happen.
tell HC to do that because he's still talking about the same thing, and I'm only bringing it up because of the money. He said trashing David's resume doesn't change the fact that Canelo shamelessly ducked him. Well, I'm not trying to change anything, dog. You're the one trying to change something. Because
unlike HC, I'm not a fanboy.
I'm telling you that whether you like it or not, it's not happening this year. So David has to do something. And you don't seem to want to focus on that arguing with me is not going to change that Canelo's fighting William Skull next, bro. That's who he's fighting. And then Crawford after that. So if you a David Benavidez fan, I guess my question to you is, since Canelo ain't going to fight him, do you want him to fight somebody else or not? Because Canelo ain't next, and he not after that. You a David Benavidez fan, right, HC? Who do you fucking want him to fight next? And you probably can't answer the question. Because for y'all, it's Canelo or nobody. Fuck, we still sitting here talking about a motherfucker that we know is booked. Like, bro, he's not booked because of something I said. I ain't the motherfucker told him to go fight Skull. I ain't tell that motherfucker to do shit. But y'all stuck on the dude. Ooh, it doesn't give Canelo. Bro, I didn't give Canelo no. I can't give Canelo no pass. That motherfucker don't answer to me. Fuck, are you not understanding? Canelo versus Benavidez is not happening. So Benavidez fans, who do you want him to fight? Y'all don't got no answer for that one.
Benavidez should fight the winner of Bivol Beterbiev, no question about it. And HC, you just got to move on from the past. That's all there is to it.
It's a whole calendar year that you know with an absolute certitude. Canelo versus Benavidez is not happening this year. With an absolute certitude, you know that. Whether you like it or not, it doesn't change that. It's not happening. So what do you guys propose? That David don't fight again this year?
Well, that's what's going to happen anyway, Jules. I guarantee you.
Probably.
That's
what. Yo, listen. That's what happened. Which was the year that he only fought once, Ignacio? Wasn't that last year?
Yeah.
Yeah. Last year he only fought Vosdick.
You know, I think that's what they want. I don't think they want him fighting other people because it's almost like they getting mad at me for stating a fact. That Canelo fight is not happening. So who else do you want to see him fight? Cervecero said David's legacy fights are dudes with no legacy. Shit, he ain't even got legacy. Shout out to Will. Even Joe Louis, who went 25-0 in title defenses, refused to fight Kid Violent El Murray for disrespecting him, saying, "You're scared to fight me." Yeah, everybody resume is like that, and they want to act like it's special, a nuance that, oh, Canelo didn't fight everybody. Brody, everybody didn't fight everybody. Honestly, I don't lose sleep over that. I can't take away from who you did fight for one or two people that you didn't fight.
Man, don't you think that's crazy, by the way? Like, back in the day, you could really just tell somebody, like, nah, bro, it's not happening. And nothing would happen, bro.
For real, like we see now I'm about to hit pause on the whole, cause fuck you. Straight cheese, like, cause fuck you. Straight cheese, straight like that. Shout out to Domo. The Triple G fight was a unification. Yikes, these guys want someone else to suck as much as David. For real.
Well, you know what?
It's a linear, circular argument that ultimately services no purpose. That if you're a David Benavidez fan and you truly believe Canelo's scared, he's a coward, he will never fight David, then what the fuck are we talking about then for? Like, what are we doing then? He's not going to fight David. You guys are telling me that. I'm telling you, okay, David, move the fuck on then.
Well, hopefully he does move on. And I got to head off, but Ring IQ, thanks for having me on. I'll be back in the future. And, you know, we can, again, I'll say it on record here. I'm very critical of Canelo, but if Benavidez doesn't take the opportunity to fight the Bivol Beterbiev winner, I will happily criticize him. So, peace out, guys. Thanks for having me on.
Everybody, it's been a pleasure. You know, I'm going live on fucking Friday for Keyshawn's fight, so you punk-ass bitches better be here and bring beer, because I will, you motherfuckers.
Night, everybody.
Chao, Jules. Te bañas.